you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news? Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
Hey, Hogs Twins here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at The Dumb Show and his website, don'tunfriendme.com. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Looks like we are going to have an interesting night tonight. God knows there's a lot going on. And, you know, I had a chance to put out a small video. Well, let's just do this real quick. Let's start in a completely different way. Well, the usual way versus the way we usually do by starting out this way. My name is Matthew Spear. I'm the host of Don't Unfriend Me. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. We'll do this first. If you want to follow us, you can go to thedumbshow.com. You can also go to @thedumbshow. She's getting it. It's one out of two. We have one more to do. Let's see if she can do this one. To my upper right is my wife, Olivia Spear, who will say something now and push the button.
I push the button first.
That's Olivia. And then we've got Amy, which is all the way to what my viewpoint is left from out of my eyeballs from the video camera. Amy, tell everyone who you are.
Hey, everybody. I'm Amy Robinson. I live in the beautiful state of Northern Virginia, and I'm a real estate agent and also one of the lucky co-hosts of The Dumb Show. Am I blurry tonight, or is it just...
You're blurry.
I am blurry.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Go get Jason. Tell him to get his ass in here. We are on Rumble, and we will be on Rumble from now on. Rumble is growing. I think we had something like 45 people watching. I didn't even know, because it doesn't count my Rumble viewers, but Rumble's growing. We're now almost at 800 viewers, and that just happened overnight. So to everyone watching on Rumble, there's only a couple of you on right now, but if you ask anything, we'll answer. Olivia's going to go between Facebook and Rumble, and we'll certainly be there and answer any questions you have on Rumble from now on, because it's important. Hopefully, Ecamm will enter Rumble and stream capability where I can see your chat, but as of right now, they don't have that. So that is what it is. Awake Not Woke, the new shirt came in today.
Love it.
Yeah. Yes.
Freaking love that
You
shirt.
haven't
That's
seen
awesome.
it. It's pretty cool. Go over to the Dumb Store at thedumbshow.com and go pick it up. It's pretty cool. There's also a couple of others I'll be wearing for the next couple nights and rocking those. You can also get coffee and coffee mugs and iPhone covers and glassware and candleware and flatware and silverware and Adaware and
Adaware?
Adaware. It's a spyware, software issue. It's a software. It's a nerd joke. You wouldn't get it.
Okay.
You have boobs. So it's gonna be an interesting night. I think on one hand, people are gonna be like, maybe the lefties coming out of Matt, because I'm gonna rip on Trump. I'm going to ask us not to go ahead and talk about the transgender Nashville shooter in a derogatory way. Two other I mean, you could call that fucker anything you want. I don't care. You can just rip him apart. Her, he, them, Georget. But what I'm asking you not to do is go after the transgender community, because I think that's just stupid. Because people are going to be immediately be like, oh, well, they're transgender, therefore the acuity side up here in the brain box is the problem, and that just shows that all trans people are this way, and that's you're being an asshole. It's like what they do with Christians and Trump supporters and AR-15 and gun Second Amendment people. What they've done to us, white Christians, it needs to stop. And this is just something. If you didn't like the way it felt when they're like, oh, it's all white males, well then you can't do this to the transgender people. That's just stupid. There's plenty of things that you can say. You don't get to say this. So we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about two guys that are in my craw, and I'm really thinking about taking like $20,000 and getting my freaking Twitter account up to 1 million people and going after the Krassenstein brothers. Like, these guys are they're public enemy number one. Like, they are the biggest disinformation cocks I've ever met in my life. And I'm going to go after these fuckers. I really am. Like, I physically am just repulsed by these two guys. And I think they are grifters, douchebags that prey on the weak. And, Q doesn't necessarily have a face because it's a bunch of different, these guys do. And they're just as bad. They're completely paid. They've been photoed as being shills, paid for by Soros money. They've been banned from Twitter multiple times by a liberal frickin' Twitter. A liberal Twitter, they've been banned. They have had to give over $500,000 back to the U.S. government for stealing from people. And these guys should be in prison. They shouldn't be on Twitter. So I'm going to go after them tonight. And I've been foxing their fucking Twitter pages, and I can't stand them. I'm sorry. I'm not happy with these. I'm sorry for my language, but I'm done being sweet and kind. The softer, gentler Matt is. We're all out of that toilet paper. We're going to be a little bit rough. We're going to be a little bit rougher. Hi, Liv.
Hi.
And then we're going to go after Ice Cream Joe. I mean, because dude, seriously. I mean, does this guy ever say anything right? I mean, I can't stand him. So we're going to go after them. Brenda says, yeah, I'm going to have to look into it. Really didn't want an account. Just want to listen to the experts.
Talk about Rumble.
Oh.
In order to see comments on Rumble, you have to have an account.
You have to have an account on Rumble. You got to sign in and you got to go get the comments. Unfortunately, Rumble's great, guys and girls. Rumble is a free network. It is just as political as YouTube, except it's for the right. And they don't want newcomers. Like, I'm not welcome, but I'm starting to get welcome, thank God. And I'm starting to pull some people, but it was a long fight. I mean, I was supposed to be able to go on Rumble and just literally blow up. That's what everyone said. And I'm like, no. Facebook is where that happened. And it's certainly... Twitter is doing really well. We're almost at 5,000 followers, which is pretty good for 2 months. But anyway, okay. Now that I've vented, and I did cuss a little, I will warn you, my recorded show, it's a little bit more PG-13. But I'm going to try to be a good boy tonight, but there's a lot here. I think I'm going to start with Donald Trump. Should I start with Donald Trump?
Let's do it. Because I'm really annoyed with him. I'm so annoyed.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think Mr. President's going to find it fantastic after what I have to say, because I'm really disappointed. Who wants to go? Well, first let me show you the video. And you know what, people, don't be like, oh God, he doesn't like Trump anymore. He hates Trump. No, I'm critical of the president, and I was critical of Trump when he was in office. I'm critical of Biden. I'm critical of all presidents because that's my job. That's what being a patriot means. If you agree with everything I have to say, which is dumb, you never should, well, then you should disagree with some of the things Trump has to say. And Trump's rally, most assuredly, was a complete disaster.
Is this the video from the part of the rally you watched last night?
It is. And then I'm going to go into some more, but it was a complete disaster. I mean, a complete disaster. Mark Levin really did a great job summing it up. A couple of other conservative voices summed it up well too. And okay. There's two parts that I don't like. I'll go into the rally later. I want to do the pre-rally. Now, if I call out Colin Kaepernick, I got to call out Donald Trump. So whether you guys have heard this or not, there is a new song that's number one on Amazon and number one on iTunes and number one and number one and number one. And it's hold on to your shorts. I want you to physically grab in here, grab your panties or your boxers or G-strings or lack thereof. And I want you to hold on to them because this is going to take you for a little bit of a ride.
Well, you should be telling people to stand up and put their hands over their hearts.
No, because it's not the national anthem. So let me preface this. So if you want to go to Rumble, go at the Dumb Show or Don't Unfriend Me Show, and then click on it and you'll see the live show. Okay. I want to preface this because, first of all, I want to be very clear. Hey, Lee, what's up? I love Donald Trump's policies. I love his vision when he has one. I love his attack dog attitude. I love his no nonsense. I love how he treats our vets. There's so many things I love about Donald Trump, but man, what I don't like a lot. And I'm not afraid to say it. I've never been afraid to say it. And that's why I'm not probably at 10,000 freaking live views a night, is because my buddy Mike Warkowski said it best today. He comes in, he goes, hey, you're right. You're fair and balanced as always, dude. And he's like, you're what the news reporters say they are, and they aren't. You're fair and balanced. You always bring a perspective. And I do. And I'm going to be fair tonight. Now, Donald Trump last night, 2 hours late, shows up in his jet, says there's 30, 40,000 people there. There's not. There's not 30, 40,000 people there, number one. I've seen it. It's about 60,000 square feet. Used to do satellite imagery, folks. It's not too hard for me to figure out. There's about anywhere from 8 to 10,000 people. It's still a lot of people. So more than Sleepy Joe could ever get, even if he gave away free ice cream. Okay? Which Sleepy Joe, okay, we just mentioned Joe Biden's name.
Sorry.
I mean, seriously, I mean, how many verbal cues do you need? I mean, besides me looking at you, literally doing the show to your face, do you think you could push a Joe Biden sound?
Prescription jugs.
Sorry, I was texting Hayden about Ethan's knee.
Oh, well, that's better. Prescription drugs. Now,
Mom is still on the clock, so I'm double duty right now.
So, okay. So hold on to your shorts because I'm going to get to it. Supposedly the number one song on Amazon, on iTunes, on everywhere is by the, okay, I'm having a hard time saying this, by the January 6th choir. Now, we all know why they're sopranos now, because they're all in prison. And they sing every night at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, the national, and you know, that's great. I would have rather have had you maybe have done that instead of like storm the Capitol and like had the news channels see a real peaceful protest. But whatever. I mean, you know, sure. And it's not that I don't have sympathy, because these guys absolutely should have a fast, fair, and speedy trial, and they're not, and they're being held on Domestic Terrorism Act, which is bullshit. And I think they deserve to be charged. And you heard me, charged. And have a sentence placed upon them if they're guilty. And if they're not, set them free. Misdemeanor or not, let them go. Now, a lot of people think you can't be in jail for a misdemeanor. That's not true. That's not true. A lot of people think a misdemeanor is nothing. It is something. And you can go to jail for a misdemeanor, depending upon the severity and level. And these are at least class 5 misdemeanors, class 4 misdemeanors. And you go to prison for those. Up to 1 to 3 years in a lot of cases. Now, I think people understand what I'm saying. There was a very small group of people who most assuredly were there to cause harm, bodily harm. I don't care about fucking Ray Epps. I know the story. I'm the one that broke it. I broke it too, along with like 3 other fucking major people. I know. Okay. And I know there were Antifa there. I know. And I know there were members of BLM there. I know. I know there was a member of FBI in the audience. I know. But I'll simply ask the question like I always do. Even if all those people are there, who made you do it? I don't care how charming Ray Epps is. I mean, the most charming person in the world. Amy, I've said it before. We're in a car, you and I are driving, and you say to me, hey, Matt, let's go rob a liquor store. What am I going to say to you?
Absolutely. Which one?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Did you see your Black Amy? Did you see your Black Amy lookalike?
I did. I did.
Dude, she's so smoking pretty too. And I'm like, dude, she looks just like Amy.
She makes the same faces.
Totally.
And when you laugh,
Yeah.
she made the same faces when she laughed.
And I don't know about Amy's O face, but all the other faces, yes.
Her mannerisms, the way she moved her hands, I mean, it was like looking at you.
And when I was watching her, I'm like, oh, she's cute as a button, man. She's smoking. And I'm like, oh my God, she looks like Amy. And I almost threw up, right? Because I'm like, oh, you're like my sister. But she's smoking hot. She's smoking hot. I totally, and even Olivia's like, wow, we should throw her in the middle.
She dresses like 100% better than I do.
Oh, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. So Olivia thought she was hot. She sent her a nasty gram. Just said, XXO, love you. No, I thought you did.
No,
am I making up?
That was
my
in
dream?
your dreams last night.
It was my dream. No. Sorry. My bad. So that didn't happen. So here's the deal. I don't want people to think, okay, once again, who opened the doors? Once again, just because somebody opens the door, why are you going to go in? And remember, there were plenty of doors that weren't open that were forced open. So listen, here's the great thing about January 6th, folks. If there's anything great about it, you can have multiple opinions.
It's kind of like when you're a kid. What does your mom say if everyone jumped off a cliff with you? Would you jump off with them?
Well, that's a part of it. But you can have multiple opinions. You can say, hey, there were 57,000, 60,000 peaceful protesters there who all went home that night. That's correct. Check, ding, ding. Yeah, check thing.
I don't think
check. Yeah, you do. Ding. You got a ding. You got a ding. You got a ding.
I do not have a ding.
Yeah. Well, if you did, you'd be a man. So ding.
Is that better?
That's fine. There's one. Okay. You can have an opinion that there are about 3,000 to 5,000 who got really rowdy, who shouldn't have went in, who kind of just were, out of hand and set off fire extinguishers and whatever. And those people, not good. Then you've got another one. You got people who actually were attacking the lines and attacking the Capitol Police, which was unacceptable. Then you've got about the 100 to 125 that were in the stairs, up the stairway in the vestibule, and who were kicking down doors and breaking glass. And then Ashley Babbitt went in. Those people, you can feel completely compelled to say, hey, I disagree with what they did. It was wrong. You can also say Ashley Babbitt's a hero. You could say anything you want, but the point is just don't condone it or just don't promote it and accept it, right? Don't sit here and be like, but no. You can. Who opened the doors? That's a great question. Why'd they open the doors? I've answered that question. But yes, you can ask all those things. But it's the moment that you said, right, but they did this. So no. No, every single person who is a Republican, conservative Trump supporter should say, I absolutely 100% condemn what happened there that day and not say, but. It's a complete sentence. And I've been screaming this for 2 years. And if we would have done that, we wouldn't have the left shoving this down our throat like we're some street prostitute begging for $20. But, so what do? Donald Trump has his little soiree yesterday in Waco, Texas, and decides to, and I want your opinions. If you're listening to the show and you think I'm nuts, just tell me. Let's try to be respectful. Here's the phone number. You can call in too. Would love to have you on. I mean, if you're just like, Matt, I disagree with you. I don't agree. I think you're wrong. Blah, blah. That's all good. You can do that. Okay. Because people have already given me their opinion that right now they're like, hey, this is my opinion. I'm like, great. I don't care. That's an opinion. You can have an opinion. But this video troubled me. And I wasn't too happy. Tell me what you think. I am a very big proponent of respecting the national anthem at all times, that it should be completely respected. So here's what happened. And I'm not going the long way around the barn. I want to set this up right. So we were ready to watch the Trump rally, right, Liv?
Yes, we were.
Okay. And when the national, I'm sorry, Amy, you're covered. Let me get you taken care of there.
Okay.
When the national anthem comes on, Liv, what do we do every single time?
We stand up, put our hands over our hearts. If the kids are there, they do. I mean, they'll come running from downstairs if they hear it to come stand with their hands over their heart and listen to it.
No matter what, no matter where we are, I mean, even if we're making whoopee, I stand at attention. A rim shot? Can I get a rim shot? Give me a rim shot. Yes. Your first reaction shouldn't. Thank you. Your first reaction should be to find the rim shot. All right.
Well, I was blushing, so whatever.
So even when we're making whoopee, I stand at attention twice. So as we've always done that. We've done that at Houston Astro games. We had $175 worth of hot dogs and beer in our hands, and we put it on the sticky, greasy, disgusting floor and stood there at attention and showed respect and deference to our flag. So if I'm going to...
Hayden went after two women that didn't stand either. She saw him. She went over there and like, excuse me, the national anthem's on. You need to stand up. And she was like 8.
Aw.
And she was 8 years old, and these two older ladies stood up and showed some respect. So here's the thing. I don't believe that the national anthem should be altered, should be changed in any way, shape, or form, ever. When people do that, oh, see, can you see? Oh, yeah. Fuck you, shut up. Sing the national anthem like it's meant to be sung. On complete rhythm with the music, in the right key, and do not ad lib. The one exception, and the only exception, is Jimi Hendrix. Because the Star Spangled Banner, that was the national anthem Star Spangled Banner by Jimi Hendrix was pretty freaking amazing.
I don't think I've ever heard it.
What?
Oh.
We can't play it. We'll get hit.
Amazing.
You can show me afterwards.
So as we're sitting there, and it doesn't matter, every hockey game we're up. I mean, and trust me, this gets old when there's like double headers in baseball. We're like, son of a bitch, we got to stand up. But we always do. Because people will always say, well, did you stand up in your house when it was on TV? Yeah, ass bag, I do. Okay? So this comes on. This is the January 6th choir. And Donald Trump saying the Pledge of Allegiance, doing a mix, and this is my first reaction of his coming out 2024, I'm running for president first rally, and this is my impression that I get to see. Here it is.
Amazon and the Billboard charts.
This is only going to come out one headset because it's in mono, because whoever recorded this is a dipshit. So this is in mono, so it's going to come out your left ear if you're listening to headsets. If you're on your phone, your speakers aren't broken. It's in mono. What mono is, well, if you don't know, you're too young and you're not going to understand anyway. And if you're old enough to remember, you're not going to be able to hear shit. So here it is.
Justice for All, featuring President Donald J. Trump and the J6 Choir.
Now, the first thing I thought of is, holy shit, Donald Trump's going to sing. This is not going to go well. I'm like, but if old D is going to get up there and belt out some tunes, I'm like, I'm all for it. This is going to be great. Like, this is the way to kick off of 2024. He's the and then I'm like, wait, J6 choir. What the fuck is J6? Is that like some sort of offbeat in E minor band that's like all ominous tones, bong, ding, ding, dong, like on CSI and shit? What the hell is a J6 choir? And then I'm like, oh my God, it's a January 6th prison, guys. This isn't going to be good. And I'm like, what is he going to do? Is he going to be like, oh, say, you're fired. You're fired. You're fired or some shit like that. And it was worse.
You're fired.
Yes, it's worse. Here it is.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Okay, first of all, cussing isn't disrespect. I'm not cussing at you. And if you know the word, you've heard the word. You're going to be fine. You're going to listen. The days of us not getting frustrated and saying, "Oh, shuckers, ice cream hit the floor, macaroni butt, oh shizzle my bizzle." No, fuck that. I'm going to drop some bombs. Okay. And if you don't like it, there's plenty of shows that don't. Go watch Benny. He's freaking milquetoast. Go watch Benny. Benny doesn't cuss. There's plenty of people out there that don't cuss. Joe Rogan cusses. He does great. Guess who else cusses? Bill Maher cusses. He's pretty successful, I've heard. How about Bill Burr? He cusses. How about Dave Chappelle? He cusses.
Louis Black.
Louis Black cusses. Richard Pryor cussed. Who cares? If you know the word, you know. I'm not directing at you. We have a right to be a little frustrated right now. Okay, so I'm a little tense, lady. All right. Here we go. I'll try to do my best. Thanks for letting me know, Deb. But it's not a matter of respect and not respect. That's ridiculous. Jesus doesn't. Well, guess what? If Jesus is going to come down and say, well, let's see, it's a guy who is a good dad, raises a family, protected his country, has hired a ton of employees, always puts others first, is selfless. He says his prayers. He's a good man. If he wants to throw me in hell for cussing, then God and I probably wouldn't have gotten along anyway. So probably a good idea to throw me down there. Deb, I don't need your judgment. Okay, take your preachy bullshit and go fuck yourself. Okay.
And there's no proof
How's
that
that
Jesus
for?
didn't.
Yeah, you know what? Just go play hide and go fuck yourself. Okay, I'm done. I don't need you to watch my show. Go somewhere else.
Please.
Thanks.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's take a moment. No. Let's take a moment. No, let's really take a moment. Okay, Amy, go.
Well, I missed the guy in the background the first time. I caught him.
I know the guy who's just like.
No, I saw him. No, he's hard to
Oh.
miss. No, the guy who was carrying the luggage back to Trump's plane. He's like scrambling. He didn't even stop to give his, undivided attention to this half national anthem, half pledge.
Okay, so I want your reaction.
Oh, the first time I heard this, I was like you. I'm like, oh, it's like some song. I'm like, how did I miss this? And we love parody music. We follow this guy who parodies Donald Trump all the time. So I'm thinking like, oh, he did a collab with this guy. It's gonna be
right, or something, right?
Song. And then this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got chills, but not like the good kind of chills, like the something's wrong.
Yeah.
It was just a gross, awful feeling. And then it started out horrible. I think the majority of this rally was awful. I'm very disappointed in Trump. I'm very let down by him. And I think if I loved him. I don't dislike Trump. I think he's awesome. I think he was a great leader for our country. I think he was a wonderful president. Oh, hi, buddy.
Say hi to Amy. Bye, Amy.
But if I was someone who was on the other side who didn't like him, I would be like 100%. He's a no. Like that's a no for me. You're disrespecting our country. You're disrespecting our flag. You're a whiny little bitch sitting up here crying about how everyone's hurt you.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Sorry,
We're not
I'm
there
sorry.
yet. We're not there yet.
It's very
Can't
much
jump the
about
gun.
Trump. This is all about Trump. Look at me.
This is.
Yeah. It's
This
all
is.
about him.
Even
and not our
having
country.
him do the national anthem in his voice, and I'm like, okay. Olivia, your thoughts?
I was a little shocked last night. I mean, we were all downstairs in the kitchen and everyone stood with their hands over their heart and like after the first insert of the first part of the pledge in the song, we just kind of looked at each other and
It's not the national anthem anymore.
and we just dropped our hands and said, "Kids, you can go and do whatever." And they were
not
looking
the
at us
national
like,
anthem.
"What in the world?" But no, it's not.
It's not the national anthem in any way, shape, or form. The national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance are completely two different things for a reason. The Pledge of Allegiance was, if anyone doesn't know, was a marketing ploy to sell flags. That's what it was. So you can sit here and pretend that the Pledge of Allegiance is this time-honored tradition from 1776. It's not. It was like a Macy's Day, Macy's window, large New York company trying to sell product that tried to inspire patriotism to have the pledge, and it worked. And I'm not saying it's not a good thing. The Pledge of Allegiance, it's the two things we put our hands over the hearts for. National anthem, we don't put it for God Bless America. No, right. That's not I don't put my hand over my heart for God. I'll stand at attention. I'll stand up and show respect, but I'm not gonna put my hand over my heart. I do it for the Pledge of Allegiance. I do it for the national anthem, period. And what that was not. It was neither. It was, first of all, okay. I'm just going to let you know something, y'all.
I was just about to say something.
I'm just going to let you know something real quick. If Donald Trump continues to support January 6th, he will not be the president of the United States. And honestly, he won't even make it out of the primary. He needs to disassociate himself with January 6th. And I'm telling you, after what I heard in that rally, which we'll go into, he's not going to. Let Olivia say her thing, and then I'm going to say my thing. Olivia, go.
Well, it was totally something different. They got somebody else who's complaining about your cussing, and I was just going to say, if you guys don't like the cussing, go find a different show or start your own show where you don't cuss.
Right.
Or be like my mom, who doesn't like the cussing, so she does not watch the live shows even though I'm on them, and she only watches the recorded shows so she can support the family. But she just doesn't watch the live shows. So if you don't like it, you do not have to watch it. We're not forcing you to watch this. So turn it off.
Right.
Stop. You're bitching.
Or put your big boy and big girl pants on and just relax and realize that there's going to be some open frustration. And here's the thing, it'll probably do you some good. Why don't you come on with me and you can say, oh, banana poop. And Mixer Plixen Garblitzen.
And Carl Hammers, go fuck yourself.
Who is it?
Carl Hammers, he said, "You guys are terrible. I noticed you kissed little boys." That's his fucking kid.
Yes, I kissed little boys.
That's my son. Leave him alone.
No, fuck it. Don't respond. No, don't you dare respond to those people. Fuck that. See, you don't do that on this show. Fuck them. Don't even respond to him. Why would you even give that guy any time? Why would you give him any time? Why would you ever give that? You can't feed them. I feed them. Just fuck him.
I'm new to this.
Look at him. He's got a picture of a dog.
I'm new to this.
Which means his wife left him. He's a fucking alcoholic. She left him the dog. That's all he's got. He eats a fucking microwave dinner and pops Pabst Blue Ribbon. He jerks off to the JCPenney's catalog and uses turtle wax because he can't afford any more baby oil, and it leaves a high gloss shine. And he's on here busting my balls for kissing my son on the cheek saying goodnight. Excuse me that you didn't have a daddy who fucking loved you except from behind. So what else you got? Carl, you got any more?
It's getting to a vicious show, man.
Carl, you got any more? Why don't you come on, you little bitch? There's a phone number right there. Go ahead and talk about my son again. That's what I thought. See you, Carl. Nice dog. I love how you have a fucking you have a sheet over your chair. Fuck.
Gross.
Welfare must not be paying what it used to. Anyway. So going back to Trump and going back to my thoughts on him, it frustrates me that he maligns. Now, he could have done the national anthem and then blended in the Pledge of Allegiance. And even then, that would have been cringe. But to do it with J6ers, it's just all about separating. He doesn't. I don't even know if does he understand he's running for president? Does he understand? So, Amy, you have some thoughts on his rally, and I want to. I know you've got some thoughts, so please give it to me. And I hope he's calling. Hold on. This might be Carl. Holy shit. Hey, caller, where are you from? You're from Texas. What's your first name? This isn't Carl?
Hi, Jason.
No. Hold on, Jason. Hold on a second, man. Let me get you on hold. I want to make sure everyone can hear you. All right. Can everyone hear Jason?
Hello.
Yes.
I can hear.
All right, Jason, give it to us. What do you want to talk about?
No, man, I just wanted to give a shout out to you, man. You dodged bullets for this country, and my hat is off to you. God bless you, and God bless your family, and thank you for your service, man.
Well, damn, Jason, thanks, buddy. Hold on, you're from Texas, which means we're brothers from another mother. So, what part? Thank you. What part of Texas are you?
Live on a show, man. I'm a little nervous. I'm as nervous as a turkey the day before Thanksgiving, man.
Don't be nervous. Just take another shot of whiskey, dude. Get your. Now you don't do that rye shit, right? You do bourbon.
No, I like the wild turkey honey, dude, and the wild.
Yeah,
turkey,
fuck that rye stuff. Rye's for leftists. All right, so take a shot of whiskey and talk to me a little bit. Where are you from in Texas?
San Antonio, brother.
Okay, well that's kind of Texas. It's kind of went a little liberal, right?
No, man. I backed the red all the way, dude. I mean,
yeah, I know, but you saw what happened to Austin. God, Austin, geez Louise, whatever happened to that city? All right.
Here's the real question. Who's your favorite baseball team from Texas?
There you go, that boy.
My favorite baseball team?
Yeah.
I have to, I like the Astros, and I
there you
love
go.
Astros.
That's the end of the answer. There is no other answer. It's the Astros, period. You're done, right? If you say the Rangers, we're going to have to hang up on you. We don't want to do that. It's the Astros. All right.
I love the Rangers only because of Nolan Ryan, man.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm with you. But if I'm not mistaken, didn't Nolan pitch some Astros ball too?
No, he did, and I have his baseball card. It's awesome,
okay,
dude, when he's
all right
for the Astros.
All right, so tell me about this rally. Did you have a chance to watch the Waco rally? Considering that you're in San Antonio.
I did. I'm sorry to keep cutting you off, man. I did, and I love Trump, dude. I think he's a good guy. I think he's got good intentions, and I think that he does good things. He'll do good things for the country if he gets put back in, man. I really do.
What does he got to do though, man? Because did that rally inspire you? Because I wasn't. I mean, I think Amy and I are in the same boat. I'm going to let her talk about it. But I mean, I wanted to hear about the future. I wanted to hear about his plan. And all he did was bitch and complain about DeSantis. And literally, he just had a 2-hour rally that pumped DeSantis up. I mean, honestly, I expect DeSantis to go up 5 to 7 points after what Trump just did.
See, I don't know if I watched the same route. I watched it on YouTube, okay? Live. That's all I had. So I don't know. I didn't catch all of it. So I missed a lot of that. So I have no idea about that. But
how do you feel about the national anthem and the putting the now this is big. People don't know in Texas that you got to learn the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance. You got to learn
the pledge to the Texas flag.
The Texas flag. You got to learn the oh come on, Liv. Every other frickin'. Come on, name the other ones. We sang at the ball game.
Oh,
America the Beautiful.
Yeah, America the Beautiful.
Yes.
You gotta learn like 7 in Texas, man. Texas is the only
deep in the heart of Texas.
Deep in the heart of Texas. I mean, you got a shit ton of stuff to learn. So, how do you feel about him blending the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance the way it was done? J6ers, then doing the national anthem. Does that bother you? Do you not care?
Yeah, it needs to be two separate things, man. It's two totally separate meanings. And I didn't know. I just learned from you that was the whole Pledge of Allegiance was a ploy to sell flags. That's what I just learned from you. I had no idea, dude. Like I thought that was a true allegiance to the Texas, to the flag. You know what I mean? But I guess I was wrong. Goes to show what I know, right?
Well, no. I want you to understand. It did wind up being that. Okay. But how it was originally done was essentially a PR gimmick. Here, I'll bring it into you and read it to you. Here's a picture. You may have seen this. And I put this up as a meme at one point. You've seen this picture where you literally have a very diverse group of kids. And you may not be able to see this, but you'll be able to watch this in the after show. But, you got white kids, black kids, all kids holding up the American flag and they're singing. Well, this was a giant PR thing. So, on the morning of October 20th, 1892, children at schools across the country rose to their feet and faced a newly installed American flag for the first time, recited 23 words written by a man that few people today can name, I Pledge of Allegiance. Francis Bellamy reportedly wrote the pledge in 2 hours, but it was a culmination of nearly 2 years of work at the Youth's Companion, the country's largest circulation magazine. In a marketing gimmick, the Companion offered U.S. flags to readers who sold subscriptions. And now with the looming 400th anniversary of Christopher Columbus' arrival in New World, the magazine planned to raise the stars and stripes over the public school. So essentially, it was given to people as a reward for selling magazine subscriptions and things to that effect. It was a big marketing ploy. And then they would get a flag. And this is ultimately how the Pledge of Allegiance started. And it wasn't anything nefarious or negative intent. Just like all of a sudden, if someone created a Coke ad in 1892 and it said, have a Coke and a smile and, all the world, get whatever the stupid phrase is, enjoy Coke, whatever. And then people, every time the morning they started their day, they're like, hey, here's a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. You adopt things throughout history, and this is simply one of them. But people make it sound like it was the founding fathers and you pledged every day. And that's not true at all. It's actually very young in our history. And it doesn't have the same weight as the national anthem. That's my point.
No, it does not. The national anthem carries all the weight. It tells the story, and it gives honor to those who have sacrificed so much for our freedoms, man, to be able to live in a free country, man. And I don't know a whole lot about that stuff. I'm glad you educated me on that. I really appreciate that.
Sure, brother.
But overall, man, I like Trump. I think he could do it. I think he could do great things for the country. I didn't hear the whole DeSantis, rant or whatever, but a lot of things, like I've been told my whole life, you talk too much, shut up. Maybe he needs to tone it down a little bit. He's kind of long-winded like I am, and starts
well, so
going
am
off on
I.
a tangent and doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Well, so I think I am too, and that's okay. I don't mind Trump being long-winded. I care about the breath of the wind and what it smells like more than anything, and which direction it's coming from. And I think, listen, everyone's like, well, it's all about socialists and the deep state. Listen, if anyone thinks that he described and laid out anything new for 2024 of how he was going to do anything, you're grossly misrepresenting what was said. This was a 2-hour rally only about Trump. There was hardly anything about policy. It was all about the witch hunt and the indictment and DeSantis. I listened to it from start to finish, and I had my notes as I always do. And everyone knows I copiously write down my notes. And in the end, all I had was DeSantis bad, indictment wrong, Trump good. That's all I had written down. 3 things. And at that point, I just threw it in the wastebasket.
Well, there's something I've been saying from the jump, man. The whole government, with the elections and all that. To me, they've been training people from the time they were kids to smash on each other, just to bash each other and talk crap and tell lies and all that stuff. And that's not the way to go, man. I'm a firm believer in God. I'm a recovering addict. I just hit over my year,
Congrats, brother.
My year of sobriety, man. I'm doing good.
What was your drug of choice, Jason?
Oh, man, it started with alcohol.
Jay, you said that, and I don't give a shit about anything else. Like Trump, DeSantis, it's all fucking out the window. Now it's about your sobriety because I want to talk about that. So what was your poison?
Well, it started off with alcohol, then it went to pills, cocaine, and then methamphetamine. So
yeah, but what's your poison? You know, out of all of those things, you have the one you prefer. Which one is it?
The one I prefer?
Yeah. What's the one that it was the hardest to kick? You know what I'm talking about, bro.
The hardest to kick was this last one was methamphetamines. It was really tough.
Methamphetamine's no fucking joke. So. Yeah. All right, so you're 1 year sober. So what's it going to take to make sure that you don't do tomorrow what you want to do today?
I'm just going to keep my eye on God, man, and keep my faith. And I want to keep going on and making my reels to those who are struggling with addiction, and trying to motivate them and encourage them and let them know that there's a vast group of people out here that they're not alone. I was addicted to pornography, masturbation, lusting, lying, deception, everything, dude. And I feel great telling my story on your show right now, dude.
Well, dude, let's do it. Then let's do this right, Jason. Let's not do it on some half-assed phone call. Let's get you on video and have you come on here and get rid of the nerves. And I apologize making the joke about having a shot of whiskey. I didn't know you were recovering, but let's have a conversation and talk about it, because a lot of people don't. Well, a lot of people know, but a lot of people don't. I'm a recovering addict, so. Okay. Mine, a little bit different, is mine was habitual from from multiple surgeries from the military and breaking my body. And then ultimately, in order to walk and move, I got addicted to opiates, like most people do who are veterans. So, but to be transparent, I'm not going to sit here and blame it on habitual. I got addicted. I liked the feeling, and I was afraid to do anything else. So, it's a story that needs to be shared. I would love to hear yours, and let's do that. Will you promise me you'll come back on and we can do that?
Yes, absolutely. You just I don't know how you want to do that. I'm not real smart with social media. I know how to click on shows I like yours and all that. So. All
right, so here it is. owner@don'tunfriendme.com.
owner@don'tunfriendme.com. Let me write that down real quick.
Or you can go to thedumbshow.com and there's a contact form there, and you can put my name in, everything else, tell me your email, and we'll get together and I'll get you on the show, and I'd love to hear your story.
All right, owner@don'tunfriendme.com.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
And we've got a lot of people who've been through addiction here. One of our moderators, Amy, lost her husband recently to fentanyl overdose, and it's in our family. Man. So, listen, man, I respect it. Everything kind of stops when we hear this, when we hear about a vet or hear about addiction or whatever, because I don't give a shit about all the other stuff. This is the most important thing. So congratulations on your 1 year. Remember, man, it's never going to get easier. You're an addict for the rest of your life. You know that. There's nothing you can do about it. And dude, the shame that you feel with one snort or one pop or one drink is 10 times more destructive than how good it feels for the few minutes you do it. Just always remember that, man.
That's right. You're absolutely right, man. Thank you so much for those words. That's beautiful, man. Thank you.
All right, my brother. Hey, good luck to you. Give me an email and we'll get you on the show, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
God bless.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
All right. Good call. Good to have people. So I know people are like, well, Trump's just telling us who he is. If you have to say Trump is, then it's a failure. If you have to explain what he's doing when we all know what he's doing, we know what he's doing. We love Trump stories. We love when he gets up there and bashes on people, but that's not what he did. He went up there and seemed small. He made fun of DeSantis and said DeSantis had tears in his eyes and he cried. People are like, well, he doesn't care about DeSantis. Yes, he fucking does. Or he wouldn't be taking this so personal. He wouldn't be up here and taking he's very fragile. And whether you know this or not, Donald Trump is extremely fragile, and his self-opinion of himself is very easy to bruise. And when you do, he lashes out. But I don't mind on the debate stage. Tear DeSantis to pieces on the debate stage. Do it in a political commercial. But on your rally, you're talking to the people. The difference between the Donald Trump that I saw in Waco, in 2016, he was the Donald Trump for the people. In 2023, he was Donald Trump for Donald Trump. There's the difference. And if you're really honest with yourself, you know I'm right. And you may not agree with everything I said, but that's true. He's not the 2016 Donald Trump. And you're like, well, he's been through so much. And yeah, I know. But no matter what, it changed him. And he hasn't switched to the people mode again. And he needs to. That national anthem, that proves it. Right there. He set the whole tone. This is going to be about me. I'm going to say the words. This is all about me. And that's not what he does. I don't know, man. Go ahead. Amy.
You pretty much summed it up exactly what I was going to say. I mean, before Donald Trump was president, he was a public figure. He was a celebrity. He was all about himself and promoting himself, his business, his conglomerates, all the world that is Donald Trump. When he became president, when he was the actual president, he was more focused on the good of the country, what was going to benefit everyone, not just one group, what was going to be the greater good for all of us as Americans. And I think recently he is like a spoiled child again, who is like, I'm famous, look at me, I've been hurt, I've been wronged, I did this for this person, and that's the only reason they got elected, and now we're going to bash him because this is better before him. And by the way, look at the stats, it wasn't. My parents live in Florida, so I know a little bit about Florida.
Oh, it's crazy. Dude, I don't care what anyone says. If he says that Ron locked down Florida, would you like me to show you the tweets from Donald Trump, lockdown Don? because Donald Trump's the one that locked down the United States. He's the one that stood shoulder to shoulder with Fauci when he said 14 days to flatten the curve. You people have a selective fucking memory.
Wasn't Florida one of the first states that opened up?
Yes. And also had a very high death rate. And they said, we're embracing this. We're moving forward. They fought against closing of small businesses. Ron DeSantis did not just embrace the vaccine. Folks, we can't be the left. We cannot have selective memory for the truth. And I'm here to remind you, and you may not like it, and I don't care, because I went through it too. And if you're going to tell me that Joe Biden's responsible for the first 7 months of COVID, you've got some serious problems, because you're wrong. Joe Biden had nothing to do with it. It was Donald Trump's policies. It was Fauci, and he gave Fauci the keys. And Donald Trump made some bad choices. That's why I said the first 3.5 years of his presidency was the greatest presidency that I've ever seen. And I followed him, and I've read history on all of them. And he was fantastic. The last 6 months, not so much. In the last 2 years has been a little bit of an embarrassment. He needs to separate from J6. He needs to separate from the stolen election, and needs to run his fucking ass off. And yes, I cussed again. Oh, clutch my pearls. And he needs to get Joe Biden out of the office. Now, Renee is here. Renee's wearing a bandana and looks like she just got off of a Harley, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm surprised you're lecturing me about cussing.
Oh,
what do you guys do?
Do
you guys eat ice cream and read scripture on the back of your Harley? Anyway, if you have to cuss to get your point across, then there is no point of discussion to be had. It doesn't make you look cool or smart. It's called growing up and acting like an adult. I'm a mother, and cussing has never been allowed in my house. When someone cusses, it just makes a person look foolish. Well, why don't you come on and debate me? Why don't you come on and debate me, Renee? And how about this? Let's find out how smart you are. Why don't you come on and come bring up your point, call me, and prove your point, and I'll cuss, and you won't cuss, and I'm going to see who's going to win, okay? Because my wife already respectfully told you that if you want to hear me articulate my points in 10-cent words and talk prettier than a $10 whore, then you can watch my recorded show. And I don't cuss, and I make my points, and it's boring as hell, but man, you learn something. If you want to go on the live show, it's to have moments like we just had with Jason. It's raw, it's real, and it's genuine. And yes, occasionally we talk like sailors and guys, and we grab our crotch and spit. And I hope you're okay with that, because that's the way we are here, and you'll deal with it because you're a biker. I mean, seriously, what are you, a millennial biker? Help me understand. Do you drive a Honda? Is that the problem?
I don't know. Golly, that's insulting, right?
It's probably a Honda.
Say, I mean, I cuss. I don't cuss as much as you do or some other people, and I don't care. Like, cussing has never bothered me, unless you're in front of my children, like going off. Then I'm like, whoa, slow your roll a little bit. But
right.
You know, but I cuss. I don't cuss. It's not my go-to word, but like sometimes you gotta say the F word, or like, you gotta get your point across, and that's all we're doing here. So yeah, if you don't like it, then go watch another show.
So, okay. So here's the thing. Someone said, wow, I just got a commercial. It happens. We're live. We have mid-roll ads. There's very few. I don't listen. I talk about the site to get these cool shirts and hats and shit stuff at the beginning of the show and the end of the show. But we get paid on our podcast and here by running commercials. And unfortunately, I can't choose when those happen. I can tell you this. They only play for like 5 seconds and you can exit out of it. It's that easy. And you can always rewind the show. That has an option to do that. Or you can watch it again. But either way, if you get a commercial, just say, hey, can you repeat what you said? And we'll go ahead and do that. All right, let's stop the cussing stuff, okay? Because you know what? It's 2.5 years. My audience is my audience. We're about ready to hit 150,000 people, folks. I think we're going to do okay, right? 150,000 people, and we haven't even been on air for 2.5 years. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. And if this isn't your particular brand of vodka, then niet.
Speaking of that really quickly, you commented on one of my posts recently. I don't know which one, but it was like the Don't Unfriend Me show with X amount of over 100,000 followers commented on your post. I was like, woo, I felt so fancy.
Oh, did it say that? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that makes me feel good. It's not me. I don't have that much power with Facebook. They hate me. So,
but it's just funny because I was like, oh, that makes me feel really good and love that. It's like, oh, you have somebody who likes you. See, followers.
I got to do one more thing about the cussing. It is cussing, if it's done properly, It should be seamless in the conversation, right? It shouldn't be the makeup. It's very myopic of a person to focus only on the words people use. Because what if the only words you use were monosyllabic? I wouldn't sit here and be like, oh, your vocabulary is so rudimentary. How dare you? It sounds pretty ostentatious of you. It sounds pretty arrogant of you. People come from different places. They have different backgrounds. And if somebody cusses, for you to sit there and go, snuffy, I can't believe these people. They're so uneducated. That's why I use Right Guard antiperspirant. I mean, who the fuck are you? Seriously, lighten up. Go get laid, okay? So go get on the back of your Honda. Go down on the shore. Go drink some whiskey. Go have some fun. Get your boy.
I can see the commercial for that. Bum, bum. Good job, Chad. Thanks a lot. You know, being a male dancer is hard, especially when you gotta shave your huevos. That's why I use Huevo Splash. Huevo Splash, you sexy mother.
Thought it was a good time for an ad.
It's a good ad. Huevo Splash. Huevo Splash. Because I shave my huevos.
So I got to say something real quick.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Somebody, actually several people, Amy, have said that we sound just alike.
Who? You and Amy?
Yeah. Several people said it. Somebody
you guys should
said,
flash the camera so we can figure out who's who.
That's funny.
3, 2.
Amy will beat me every day of the week on that one.
I don't know. I think the audience is we're up in the air on this one. All right. So all right. Enough of this. I want Donald Trump to talk about what he's going to do in 2024. It's going to be different than Joe Biden because it's not what I want, folks. I'm okay with just handing him the keys. Here you go. Take the keys. Go run the country because I know what he's going to do. But I'm not America. And 60% of America don't want him to run. That's pretty. You got to go sell. You got to go turn some, especially the females in the suburbs. This ain't going to do it. Him knocking DeSantis' wife just had breast cancer. Political capital hit number 1. He's retired JAG lawyer, officer, highly decorated. Okay. Has Navy accommodation medal, has meritorious medals, has campaign service medals, served with the SEAL teams. Not as a SEAL, but as a adjunct lawyer, is one of the strongest governors out of all 50 states, gave Florida on a silver platter to the Republicans, the highest amount of red in that state ever. It wasn't Donald Trump. It was DeSantis. Trump says, I had 2 more million votes than him. Yeah, that's for a presidential election. Nobody comes out for governors. And he still almost got as many votes as Trump. 2 million is not that much in a state the size of Florida. Folks, Ron DeSantis has a very bright political future. And for you to politically assassinate him is not smart. He's not Rubio. Nobody liked Rubio. Nobody liked Ted Cruz. Nobody liked Bush. DeSantis is liked. And he may only have 27% of the vote. But that's a huge amount for you to be trashing him and getting other people who are on the fence about him to say, you know what? Maybe I don't want to vote for Trump. Maybe this is all he is anymore. Maybe he's out of ideas. And if you don't present your ideas, that's what people are going to think. Amy, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, with Trump, look, he made it for 4 years and then he got voted out. We don't need him to be back in office for 4 years and then we lose this country again to a bunch of leftist, crazy liberal people who can't freaking read a teleprompter. We need a president who's going to lead our country for the long haul and set us up for what's wrong.
Go ahead. No. Finish. You're doing it great. I just have a question from one of my viewers. It's just baffling me. Go ahead.
No, we need a president who can lead. I mean, Trump can only serve for 4 years, in case you're not familiar with the laws in our country. So he can only do 4 years. It's his last term. At least if DeSantis, he can set us up for an 8-year term, hopefully run us into a longer term with a good vice president to give us another 8 years so we can get our country to be prosperous, successful. DeSantis is more polished. He can appeal to more people, yet he rules with an iron fist and he's not going to take any shit from anyone. We're not going to get these bullies like China and Russia breathing down our necks like we are now. He's going to put an end to it. And he's also going to be able to talk to us what would you call us? Suburban women. I'm a suburban woman. I would vote for DeSantis right now over Trump any day. And I voted for Trump twice before. So I just want to say I've always been a Trump supporter. I think he's wonderful. I think he did wonderful things. It's time for him to step down.
Or It's time for him to put Nikki Haley on the ticket as soon as he possibly can and give us vision and let her go. That's the one thing Mike Pence did so well. Trump kind of backed off and he let Mike Pence destroy Kamala Harris and destroy, Tim O'Kano. Oh, Tim O'Kano. Come on. You know Tim Kaine, the white guy who speaks Spanish?
Sí.
Sí.
¿Cómo está?
Sí, señorita. Muy bien. Y tú? I don't answer my own question. So here's the thing. I think we understand what we need. When I said 60% of America doesn't want Donald Trump to run, that's the number. Because here's why. And this is the hard truth, and you're not going to like it. About 52% of registered voters are Democrat. About 48% are Republican. Now that gap is narrowed. We've seen about 3 million Democrats leave and go to the Republican side, which is really good. The problem is about 7% of the country is independent too, who are registered. And that's where the election's usually made up. However, in 2022 and 2020, suburban housewives were a big one. The black population was a big one. And the libertarian vote was a big one. And Green Party was a big one. Those were really the ones that third-party candidate took a lot of votes, and it really hurt Donald Trump. Also, 50 million ballots that weren't authorized to be out there, that makes a big difference too, but we're not going to talk about that. So this next election, when I say 60%, you're talking about 52% of the registered voters are Democrats, and then you actually have people in the Republican Party who've jumped ship, and these are DeSantis voters. DeSantis is polling about 21 to 24%, depending upon which poll you want, which is actually fairly respectful against an incumbent popular 93% Republican support at one point for Donald Trump, which is waning. It's actually falling down between 87, 86, sometimes 84%. That's the number that's now moved to the DeSantis column. So you would take that number of dissenters that have went for DeSantis, which is basically a vote for Joe Biden, and you take the Joe Biden vote. Now you have 60% of America that doesn't want to vote for Trump. That is worse than the Mondale fucking run. And if anyone remembers what happened with Walter Mondale, it was 49 states to 1. Minnesota voted for Mondale because he's from there. You betcha. Yeah, the Great North in the woods. Yeah, pancakes and stuff. Yeah. So they voted for Mondale, okay? And that guy was the biggest dipshit in tanking. And it was still close. That should even scare you. He almost won 50 states. Can you imagine what a fucko you are if you lose 49 out of 50? I mean, the liberals were like, let's see, Puerto Rico, Washington, D.C., do you think we can get them pushed in? Do you think maybe we can make them states too? It comes down to this. Donald Trump, I don't care about what your feelings are. I'm giving you cold, hard numbers. And right now, there is no way he's going to win.
I would rather, when it comes to rallies, I would rather hear a positive rally. I mean, Tell us what you're running on. Tell us what, your views are. I don't want to hear the schoolyard bullshit of, he's a poo-poo head and he's a watermelon head. And
I want to hear that in the debate. I want him to go after each other.
But I don't want to hear it on the rallies. I hear it all day long with my children calling each other names. I don't want to hear it from possibly the future president. They're grown men. Talk about what you are going to do and get people to like you for you, not because you can throw shit better than the other candidate.
You know what Mike Pence is doing? Mike Pence is like, will someone pay attention to me? It's like Mike Pence is going to go on TV. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, the rally of Mike Pence. And he's going to walk out here and he's going to be like, fuck. And then just leave. And everyone's going to be like, oh, the horror. Mike Pence dropped the F-bomb. Oh my God. He's going to get national headlines. And he's going to be like, yeah, I'm a rebel. By the way, I wasn't talking shit about bikers. And I said Honda as a slap in the face. You're not a biker if you're a Honda. You're a Honda. Come on. Triumph, of course. Of course, if you have a Triumph, you're a biker. But Honda? Oh, come on. Please. I drive a Japanese bike. It's a fantastic piece of machinery from Okinawa. That doesn't work, does it? I got my Jack Daniels, I got my apple pie, and I got my sushi. Okay, now, I'm going to do another video. And I'm going to move off this because I don't want this all to be about Trump. And I don't want people to think I'm bashing on Trump. Just enough, Donald, enough. Time to get serious. Time to run, okay? Time to get those middle people to come on over. And the only way to do that is talk about inflation, talk about peace in the Orient, to talk about pulling out of the Paris Accord, no Iran nuclear deal, okay? to reinforce USMCA against NAFTA, to reimpose tariffs against China, to cripple Russia with life-ending freaking sanctions. This is the time. It's time to talk about investing in the infrastructure plan of actually getting things done and getting our roads and bridges and railways and getting those things fixed. You know, the things that Joe Biden said he was going to do, to bringing internet into the inner city, to reaching out to the inner city so we stop losing 60,000 black youth. Okay, there's a lot of things we can do if Donald Trump would just talk about the plan. Like, trust the plan. Remember the plan that everyone talks about?
Yeah.
Trust the plan.
It's all part of the plan.
Sorry, a little slow.
Trust the plan, right? That plan we hear about, how Donald Trump's coming back in office and he's going to come out of Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and he's going to arrest all the clones, you know, that crazy shit you guys talk about. How about the real plan? How about a 12-point plan for America? How about what you're going to, how about reinstating your black contract with America? The one that you were going to do in 2020, the one that was amazing that gained you black votes. How about re-releasing that now and getting a freaking 18-month runway of what you're going to do for underprivileged youth in the inner cities? How about that? How about instead of getting 12% of the black vote, you get 22% and you win the whole fucking thing? How about you do that, Donald? Caller, where are you from? Caller, where are you from?
It's North Carolina. It's Santa Claus.
It's Isaac is on the phone. Isaac, what's going on, my brother? What do you want to talk about?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. How's everything in the North Pole?
Oh, it's melting.
Did your weed farm survive the winter there, Isaac?
No, the deer ate it.
Deer, the reindeer ate the edibles, huh?
That had to be great for Christmas Eve.
Fly.
That's good, dude. That's good.
Oh,
what do you want to talk about, Isaac?
Well, you were speaking about the national anthem earlier.
Yeah.
And it originally started as an English drinking song, Anacreon. Go back and listen to it.
What?
But
The pledge?
Anacreon.
The Pledge of Allegiance?
No, the national anthem.
Yeah, I know about the national anthem. We were talking about the pledge.
Thing,
we were talking about the pledge. Yeah.
Oh, say, can you see?
I'm aware of I'm aware of the national anthem, Isaac. I haven't smoked that much pot. So yes.
They took all of this out of the schools.
Yes.
In the 70s. The Pledge of Allegiance, the Lord's Prayer. They took everything.
A little bit after the 70s.
They tried to change society and make everything erased.
Yeah.
They're erasing holidays. They're trying to erase Christmas. Okay? Which is okay with me, but I really
do you think their target is, hey, Isaac, do you think their target is Christmas or just Christians?
Everything.
Okay.
So
I would specifically say Christians.
I would too.
Yeah, not just Christians. If they had to feed the Christians to the lions would be starving. Okay.
Well, yeah, and the Jews, and even though they're pretending to be, isn't it great that now they're pretending to be, they love the Jewish people. Now that Netanyahu has riots in Israel, now they're like, we're pro-Israel. It's like, you people, you know what he said? Joe Biden today said that he's like, I can't even say it. MAGA extremists want to cut funding to the border. Like, what the fuck are you? What the fuck are you? What are you talking about, man, Joe?
For this one, I heard
it.
They
go ahead.
Divide and conquer. It is to keep everyone confused and misinformed.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
Everybody, especially with this shooting that just happened in Nashville, everybody wants a knee-jerk reaction, happen quick, fast.
I didn't.
And we have to stop and stand back and gather all the information. And the deep fakes are going to be coming. They're going to arm these robot dogs. I don't know whether you saw.
Here you go, Isaac. Okay, no, I don't want to hear about robot dogs. Come on. They're not going to arm robot dogs. You want to know why?
You have them. Have you seen them?
Yeah, yes, I know they have robot dogs. Guys, seriously, a well-placed cinder block could literally destroy them. You were doing so well, Isaac. Isaac, here's the video I released. Let's go in. Hold on. I'm going to put this video.
You started it with the Joe Biden thing, man.
Yeah, but I didn't talk about robot dogs,
is not
Isaac.
Competent to run a 7-Eleven.
I know.
Okay.
Hey, don't talk to him about 7-Elevens. I've got 7-Elevens in Delaware. I think we got that sound clip somewhere where he talks about how everyone's Middle Eastern who owns a 7-Eleven.
I'm looking.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I've got it. Hold on here.
Before you read it.
Yeah, watch.
I don't think we got it.
Hey, everybody. Sorry to jump on. If you don't know my state, my state was a slave state. My state is a border state. My state is the 8th largest black population in the country. My state is anything from a northeast liberal state.
Yeah, the other one, I'll have to find it. But just listen, there was one person who wasn't doing a knee-jerk reaction. It's this guy who literally didn't make any predictions, who waited, who was patient, and got the news, and it was out literally 15, 20 seconds after it was off the wire. Here it is.
Hey, everybody. Sorry to jump on so quick. We all know what's going on in Nashville, and it's a horrible, horrific event. This has been going on too long. My wife and I we went through Columbine in Colorado. We went through the Aurora school shooting. I've talked about the Sila Vista Mall where I worked at that mall and ran a store there as a DM. And, you know, everyone's been impacted by these. And I want to just express a word of caution is what you're about ready to hear here on Fox is already on Twitter. Democrats are all over this, ban guns, and then Republicans are drawing a hard line. And when they release the identity of the shooter, everyone tends to go ahead and make their claims, whether they're black, white, or indifferent. And the fact that she was female, number one, is obviously a big deal because predominantly these are carried out by males. And the second thing is that you're going to find out that he was transgender. And that has been confirmed by the chief of police. And I know that everyone is going to jump on this from the Republican side and start blaming the transgender community. And you can do what you want. I would ask you to take a moment's respite and think before you speak. Remember how it feels to be marginalized and ostracized for being Republicans, for being gun owners, for being Christians, for being white. And think about when you post something and start blaming the transgender community or answering these leftist posts that say, name one thing that transgenders have done wrong. This would be an easy one for you to grab a hold of and use for your advantage. And I would strongly recommend that we kind of rise above. But that's just my opinion. Here's the segment.
Yes, from our investigations tell us that she was a former student at the school. I don't know what grade she's attended or grades, but we do firmly believe she was a student there. She does identify as transgender, yes.
And whether you heard it or not, she does identify as a transgender. Now, I have to address one thing, and Isaac, I know you're on, so hang tight with me because we're going to have some opinion. Christopher Young says, we had a president for long term until the election was swollen by the illegitimate cabal puppets. Trump is the only one who can make America great again. He did an amazing job. Hold on, I got to get this bullshit up again. Trying. Amazing job during his tenure as president, all the while being persecuted by the deep state on a daily basis. Okay, the middle part's wonderful. On charges because they're scared to death of him. That tells you all you need to know. Don't let these interlopers brainwash you. Trump won 2020. You know that's true. Okay, so first half, complete nonsensical babble. Back half, completely the same as the first, and the middle was great. No, I don't know that. You haven't watched my show long enough, but for you to assume that I can be brainwashed is interesting, considering I used to be one of the people who would do the brainwashing. I don't think you know a lot about me. So I only base my opinion off fact. There's no emotion. I don't care. I don't have a dog in these fights. I see things from my view, and I really don't care what anyone else's view is unless it's laced in fact. If it's emotion and you want to tell me that's what you believe, great, perfect. Good for you. If you're telling me that's fact, let's talk about the cabal first. And I would have a simple question for you. Who's in charge of the cabal? Please name 10 people. Name 10 people in the cabal. Please tell me how the cabal gets its funding. Please tell me how the cabal influences policy. Please tell me why the cabal picked only the Democrat side when the transfer of power consistently over the last 250 years has fallen equally amongst Republicans, Democrats, the Whig Party, the Bull Moose Party, the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists, and there's always opposition to that party. So why would they just pick Democrats? Please tell me how you feel that the swamp is only one side and not both. And if it is, then explain to me, how did Donald Trump win in the first place? If 2020 was stolen, why wasn't 2016? What about 24? What about 2000? Can you explain that to me? Why did any senator, governor, state legislature that had an R in front of their name win in 2020? How did they not keep power in all three branches? How did they not get the SCOTUS picks overturned? How did they ensure that Trump wasn't pulled out of office? Listen, I understand you're upset. I understand you're bad. I understand that you've watched way too much Blacklist.
I was just thinking that.
You need to stop watching Blacklist.
Do you have the fulcrum?
Do you have the fulcrum? Where's the fulcrum? Do you have the Stefano DiMero prism ring from Days of Our Lives in 1980?
Do you have Ray Reddington on speed dial?
To my wife, she's not a smart ass that much. This is Matt. Who am I talking to? Where are you from?
Hey, Matt. How you doing, man? This is Kai. I'm from Sacramento. I just called your show. It's actually my first time calling your show.
Sacramento, California. Kai is your name from Sacramento. Kai, what do you want to talk about?
So let's see. Okay.
Wait, how old are you, Kai?
Amy wants to know how old you are, Kai. She wants to know how old you are.
37.
Okay, you don't sound 30. You sound a young 37, man. We were going to say like 25 or 26. Kai, go ahead. It's your minute. What do you want to talk about?
I probably look like one too, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so here's an interesting thing I wanted to ask, right? Okay, now when it comes to Trump, right, it specifically, there's a lot of ideas that he has that I like. You know, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to especially a lot of the conservative ideals that he has. That's all okay, right? I feel that, to be very fair and objective, I feel there's a certain aspect to where there's some sort of blinders that his supporters have in terms of like kind of looking the other way as if it's as somehow non-plausible that someone like himself, who is prone to, let's say, breaking the rules or doing things the way that he sees fit, would somehow do something that would be under the investigation of the FBI. And I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that, you know, being that, you know, perhaps maybe there is some sort of, plausible reason as to why, let's say, the FBI or any department out there would want to investigate him for, let's say, maybe taking classified information or maybe taking things out of the White House that he shouldn't have. Now, I guess the question is, I mean, is it really that impossible to believe that someone like Trump would not do something like that? I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that. Thanks, by the way.
Sure, don't leave, because we want to have a follow up. So, does anyone want to take that, or do we want to punt?
To be honest, I had a hard time hearing him. I think it's just my audio.
That's fine. Liv? No?
But
okay. I'll jump. If you're acquiesced to my request, I'll jump on that question if that would be okay. Outstanding. Okay. So first of all, Kai, it's a very well formulated, articulate question. I want to commend you because most people from California, barring current company, my wife and I are usually couldn't find their ass with two hands. So I'm proud of you for being one of them. I'm wondering how. I'm wondering how that you got past curfew tonight and how they allowed you to be on live. I'm just teasing. Okay. I spent 18 years, my first stint, my first term in California, my first sentence, and then following subsequently 5 years. I'm actually a big fan of California. All right. So I want to dissect this in the proper way. First of all, I think everybody treats politicians like a sports team. And what they shouldn't do is that they should treat politicians with a healthy level of skepticism and an increased level of accountability, right? It should almost be what we would expect from a friend or a boss or a peer at times is what we should expect from what we consider to be leaders when they're not. They're representatives. They actually represent us, and we don't. We treat them like a sports team. So we wear their labels. I mean, Trump was a crazy marketer. I mean, there's never been a president. Some people get bumper stickers, but people were literally getting tattoos of him. They have bumper stickers. They have giant flags. I mean, this guy's merch sales are through the effing roof. So there's something there that Trump tapped into that other presidential candidates never have. And one of them is a unfettered loyalty of epic proportions, because Trump did a better job than any other president in U.S. history saying that I am you. And even though I'm a multi-billionaire and I literally shit on a throne of gold and I wipe my ass with gold foil toilet paper, I'm just like you. And he pulled it off. So how? Well, he constantly repeated the same things, that middle America has been left out, that you've been left behind, you've been marginalized, and I'm going to get us back to the promised land, and we are going to have a seat at the table again that Obama took away, not just from you, but from me, as he embarrassed me and made me look like an idiot. And it's going to be us against them. So that was the thing. He played on people's emotions, not their pocketbooks, not their sense of patriotism, not their loyalty to isolationism or populism or globalism. He played on people's emotions, and dare I say, Kai, he delivered. And he did a really good job on his policy for 3.5 years. The problem is he didn't know how to sell it. And if you want to walk through that, we can do that. But you're going to either have to trust me or not to say that I'm fairly impartial enough to tell you that I love Trump's policy, but I don't necessarily like who he is as a human being sometimes. Now, let's talk about that.
With that, yeah, I can agree with everything that you just said in that last part. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So now, how is it that people believe that Donald Trump isn't possibly taking home classified documents, or he's not above the law, or he makes his own rules? Because I'll tell you why. He is the most investigated man ever in America. More than Al Capone, okay? More than Charles Manson, more than Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, more than Richard Greco on Wall Street, more than the Wolf of Wall Street. This guy has been investigating more than Enron. This guy, more than Martha Stewart. He's been investigated more than any other person on the planet, Donald J. Trump. These are facts, and I'd be happy to argue about them, but they spied on his campaign. They wiretapped his home and his office predominantly. They wiretapped Mar-a-Lago. They had FBI agents working undercover inside his campaign. They had the Steele dossier, which was a foreign intelligence service in England, and they went ahead and used this dossier to discredit him. It was paid for by Hillary Clinton. It was paid for by the DNC, and subsequently the same funding that was done about the birther movement, which was made up by Hillary Clinton and John Podesta. And Donald Trump bid on it hook, line, and sinker, but it was actually created by Hillary when she ran against Obama, and it wasn't used. But it was leaked shortly after he became president by Podesta. And also Julian Assange leaked some of those emails when he first got wind of these earlier adapted emails, because Hillary Clinton's server was not just hacked for one day. This was hacked for multiple consecutive quarters. They had a running line into what the DNC was doing for over 2 years. Now, you can go into the Stormy Daniels and Michael Avenatti, as Michael Avenatti was the next John F. Kennedy, and Democrats wanted to promote him. He's now in jail. You have Stormy Daniels, who signs a letter and says, nope, I didn't have anything to do with that. I didn't do anything. I didn't have sex with him. It's a complete lie, and it's certainly not because I got paid off. You've got Cohen writing a letter saying the same exact thing under his lawyer. Then you have him recanting it. Then you have him suing and countersuing and doing discovery. Then you find out that the payment was a campaign contribution. Ultimately, none of that's illegal unless it's Donald Trump. And the reason why it is because it fell under campaign law, because they put it in as a payment that was a retainer for a lawyer and classified it as a retainer versus a payoff. If Donald Trump just would have written a check, none of this would have come to light, minus with the press, but he had to in October. You've got Russian collusion, $52 million in the Mueller investigation. And in the end, it doesn't matter what it said. What mattered was they said we could not prove that one vote was changed by Russian collusion. So therefore, there is no Russian collusion. There is no stolen election. Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton because she's a horrible fucking candidate. And Joe Biden won against Donald Trump because of mail-in ballots and the fact that nobody wanted Donald Trump as president anymore because of COVID and some of the things that he said, and he lost the female vote. They love him because he has constantly been attacked, and he tells them the truth. He doesn't lie. Now, you guys say he lied, or the liberal media says 36,000 lies. Dude, Joe Biden lies every time he opens his fucking mouth, and I don't see a ticker tape counting his lies. He lied 7 times today, and I can tell you what they were. Donald Trump tells them the truth, according to them, and they're loyal to him, and there's nothing that he can do wrong. I think he was wrong with January 6th. I think he was wrong the way he handled COVID. I think he was wrong the way he talks about certain leaders. I think he's made some poor choices, and I think he's made some amazing choices. But in the end, people who support Trump are not like me. They love him, and the Democrats have tried to destroy him since he came down from that golden escalator, and this is more of the same. That's the answer.
I could not add anything to that. That was actually excellent, and I feel...
Now, Kai, tell me I'm wrong, or tell me what I missed.
No.
You didn't really anything in that, because you are correct about politicians lying all the time. And it seems that when he lies, it seems to be a lot more amplified. And perhaps maybe part of that could be just because of how he comes across and the fact that he's somewhat abrasive.
He's an asshole.
What was that?
He's an asshole.
Right. And I
let's
think
be honest.
That's a shock to a lot of people where they play the game. They play the game of, I mean, we all do it, right? Especially if you work in a corporate setting, or if you're in the military, or if you're in some sort of organization, or some sort of friendship club, or some sort of country club of some sort. We all do it. Even in high school, we did it, to try to fit in with the popular kids. So there's just certain things you're not going to say. There's certain things that you're not going to do. But then when somebody actually goes and steps out of line in that, in that way of thinking, or in that way of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like, that whole ethos of trying to, appease everybody, then it just becomes like, okay, well, who is this guy? I think in the same similar fashion as to, why maybe the Romanian government locked up Andrew Tate, if you know anything about that particular case. Yeah, there's similarities in that, but the only difference is obviously Andrew Tate is under the jurisdiction of a government that really doesn't have any, oversight when it comes to due process.
Listen, Kai, real quick. The reason why I say Donald Trump is an asshole, I'm an asshole. And the reason why is because I don't placate anybody. Like, I just tell you what I think, and I don't suck up to you. I'll never be syndicated because I will never kiss corporate's ass, because I've worked for corporate. I've worked for 3 Fortune 15 companies in my life. I've got enough stock. I'm good. I don't need to suck up to anybody. But what I'll tell you is Donald Trump, the reason, you want to know why the left don't like him and why they can't stand him? And this is the best the best thing I can tell you, and the only thing I know for absolute certain, and I don't know if everyone else says it. Dave Chappelle has a really good one. He talks about how Trump's like talking in the debate, and he's like, they love him because he tells the truth. And he tells them what they already know. And he's like, you know what? You didn't pay any taxes. And he's like, well, it's because I cheat the system. I use the same system you guys do, Hillary. I use the same system that Obama does. You know, you can't be upset at me for using it. And they're like, well, you don't pay taxes. That makes me smart. And people are like, holy shit, he told the truth. I mean, a politician that tells the truth. Trump, here's why the left hate him. Because Trump refuses to accept their alternate reality and their distortion field. And let me explain it to you. I worked for Steve Jobs for 14 days. And then he died. But one of the reasons I went to Apple was so I could work for Steve Jobs. Because although a sanctimonious prick, he was a lot like Trump. He didn't tell people what they wanted to hear. He told them the truth. And although he could be ostentatious and aggressive and everything else, he was a genius. And all he did was take other people's ideas and make them better, which is a lot. It actually takes a very, very massive skill set to be able to bullshit your way through not knowing anything. And Steve Jobs was good at that. But one of the things about Steve Jobs that he had and was said is that he has a reality distortion field. And if you haven't read Walter Isaacson's book on Steve Jobs, I would recommend that you do. It's one of the best books you could read as far as I'm going to sit by your bedside before you die and tell your story. And the reality distortion field is pretty simple, is that Steve Jobs, once he was in his reality distortion field, you could say anything and he would twist it and turn it and distort it, and it would never be the same. And he could convince himself of anything. This is something that most narcissists have, multi-billionaires have, is they're a little eccentric. And Donald Trump has his own reality distortion field. That's why he focuses on loyalty so much, but he doesn't have anyone near him anymore. I want you to look at all the people he's burned and all the people he's gone through. Donald Trump doesn't need anyone but Donald Trump. And he basically uses you, not in a negative way. He will prop you up. He'll say great things about you. He will give you the national spotlight right next to him. But the moment you show an ounce of disloyalty, you get kicked to the fucking curb, not only vicariously through his boot, but viciously. Donald Trump has his own reality, and it hurts his presidency, and it's helped his presidency. But at this point, I believe that Donald Trump has nobody, and he is Caesar. He is surrounded by enemies. I don't believe he has anyone telling him the truth that he trusts. I don't think anyone is giving him the straight poop. And I think he has really burned all his advisors that will truly tell him what he needs to hear, because the people who he has now, like Stephanopoulos and fucking Kanye and these other people he uses, I think the only reason that they want to be close to Donald is to be close to Donald. And I don't think they have any benefit to him and his presidency. And I really do truly believe Donald Trump needs to find people who he can trust, who tell him the truth. This is why I wanted Nikki Haley, because Nikki Haley will tell him the truth. DeSantis will tell him the truth. And that's why Donald Trump doesn't want them, because they will tell him the truth. That's my opinion.
Totally agree with that. I think Donald Trump is all about his inflated self. He needs to be reminded. I think Donald Trump is going through like a midlife crisis of sorts. I know he's probably past that part of his lifetime, but he's looking for something that he's not getting. And I don't know if anyone can give that to him. And I think he's looking for reassurance, and it's coming from the wrong places. It's coming from disingenuous people who are telling him what he wants to hear and not what he needs to hear. And it happens to the best of us. And I think that's where he is. And I think it's to his detriment. And I don't think he's capable of seeing that. I don't think the people that are close to him are capable of seeing that either. He needs an outsider who can look at it through a black and white lens and say, this is right, this is wrong. Here's what you need to do. Here's what's wrong. This is what's going to get you reelected. This is what's not going to get you reelected. He's not seeing it. He's too close to it, and the people with him are too close to it.
That's right. And I meant Mayanopoulos, not Stephanopoulos. I cross sabers. Kai, I'm going to give you, is it Kai? Kai, I'm going to give you 1 more minute to wrap up. Any questions you got, comments, anything else you wanted to say? And then we are going to go to just one last video, and I gotta move on from the call, but anything else you got? 1 minute.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for having me on. and letting me speak, and then discovering your show. I wanted you guys to come check out a conference called Mixed Martial Arts.
Yeah, you can't promote on my show, bud. Sorry. You always need to ask somebody before you do that. And the reason why is because if I promote anything on the show without prior consent on YouTube, I will get banned. I'm sorry I had to cut you off. I did not mean to be rude, but you have to get consent to promote on my show, or it has to be done for a professional agency. The reason why is because I am a political agency. Unfortunately, I have to register as a political organization because Facebook won't let me run ads unless I do. And by doing that, if we endorse anything, I have to disclose that to Facebook and YouTube. If I don't do that, I can be banned. So I'm sorry I interrupted you.
15 seconds too, right, of your show, or 15. It's like you have a time frame. You have to say this program is brought to you by these endorsements.
No, I don't have to do any of that. I just have to disclose it, that this is a paid advertisement or advertisement. But if you want to go ahead and do me a favor, Kai, put in the comments right down here, just link your site so people can see it. And put it down there for me, and people will be able to go to it if you want. You can put that in chat. None of my moderators will ban you. I'm very sorry to cut you off. Unfortunately, I have to do that sometimes. All right. I want to watch two videos real quick. One is with Kier Jean-Pierre. And listen, this shooting is serious. And it's heart-wrenching. It happened at a private school. I know that's completely tearing Amy up. Completely. I because your kids go to private school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to be hard on you. And the second thing is, it's not lost on me that these are 9-year-old babies, right? I get it. A 9-year-old and two 9-year-olds and an 8-year-old. It's horrific. The problem that I have about all of this is everyone knows that I am a gun enthusiast. I'm a Second Amendment supporter through and through, unequivocally, unapologetically. Olivia and I lived in Wyoming, but were intimately involved in Colorado with Columbine, constantly going, right?
Yes, we were.
Aurora school shooting. We were in Colorado at the time during the Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
El Paso, Sila Vista Mall, I worked at. And
we were in Texas.
We were in Texas, and I ran the stores down there. So although we weren't personally impacted, but I don't go to the movies without carrying. In fact, I won't go to AMC theaters anymore because they don't allow concealed carry. So the movie theaters that I go to have to allow concealed carry. And the first thing I do is I walk the perimeter and I check the exits. And I had 2 police officers in Texas. I carried and I walked in, and the guy's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm checking the exits." He's like, "Why?" And I told him, I said, "Well, that's how the Aurora shooter got in, is he put a book match or boot or whatever inside one of the emergency exits and came in, and that's how he shot people." And he's like, I didn't know that. And he's like, "Thanks for showing me." And the movies we would go to, he would go and hit that, and then I wouldn't have to worry anymore. But I always keep my eye on people walking in. You can ask my wife. I am constantly not watching.
He never watches the movie.
Never watch the movie. I'm just there ready to pull on any threat that walks in. And that's where I go everywhere. That's why I hate leaving my house, because I'm terrified that something like this is going to happen. And on a long enough timeline, it will. But none of that is the gun's fault. Now, someone asked me, if your kids were shot, and I'm like, I don't deal with hypotheticals, number one, but number two, fuck off. And number three, no. Because just like a gun, a screwdriver is a tool. And a hammer is a tool. And it can be used for wrongdoing. But that's not the common denominator. It's not the weapon. You've seen vehicles. You've seen people poisoned. You've seen knife attacks. 96 people stabbed on a Tokyo subway. That's not the common denominator. It's not the violence. It's the mental state of these people. They're fucking crazy. That is the one common denominator. Nobody can tell me there's a mass shooter who's ever perpetrated a mass shooting who isn't insane. Can someone please tell me when it's not insane? How can you sit here and tell me they're not fucking nuts? So if that is the one common denominator versus the gun they use, whether it's an assault rifle or a handgun or a knife or cyanide or a propane tank like the frickin' idiot Columbine brothers wanted to use, the one commonality is that they're all depressive. They all have delusions of grandeur. They're all psychotic in one way or another, and they're homicidal. That is the problem. And until you address that, which is a hell of a lot easier than figuring out how you're going to confiscate 450 million guns in the United States. So here's Jean-Pierre. And she has something to say because Joe Biden told her to. Here it is.
We must do more. And he wants Congress to act because enough is enough.
I will say, this lady and her choices in color on TV, it's as bad as Nixon versus Kennedy versus Nixon in the debates. I mean, this is like.
Thank you for saying that, because I don't like. Yeah, go ahead.
You need sunglasses.
I don't like to talk about people's appearances, but do you remember the Play-Doh dolls where you make like the hair? I just feel like she might like they always had like the bright. You know what I mean? Like they always have, it was only like a half.
Troll dolls?
It was like their shoulders
Play-Doh
up.
dolls.
Do you remember?
Oh shit! I left Isaac.
Oh no,
Isaac, I'm so sorry. You're not on hold. I totally forgot you were there. I'm so sorry, buddy. Oh, Isaac, I'm sorry, pal.
Right.
But she looks like a troll doll, and you're right. It does look like that fluorescent Dayglow orange, pink, green Play-Doh.
Oh my golly. Yep.
That's freaking all right. Let's watch the rest.
In
That's
his
hilarious.
State of the Union, the president called on Congress to do something to stop the epidemic of gun violence, tearing families apart, tearing communities apart. How many more children have to be murdered before Republicans in Congress will step up and act to pass the assault weapons ban, to close loopholes in our background check system, or to require the safe storage of guns? We need to do something. Once again, the president calls on Congress to do something before another child is senselessly killed in a preventable act of gun violence. Again, we need to do something.
All right. So the first thing is, I want to be okay. I'm not a war fighter. Okay. I'm almost 50. I'm 49 next month. I'm old. I could probably get taken, not by anyone in the millennial generation. I'm sorry. You guys are all a bunch of fucking pussies. But I can pretty much be taken by anyone with the right mindset. Give me a gun and I'm pretty fucking formidable and I'm probably going to win. Let me get a hold of you and I'll crush you because I'm really strong. I'm not a warf. I'm an old dog, right? I'm an old guy. But that doesn't mean I can't bring the pain, okay? So there are times when you just got to be real honest and just cut bait. No matter what you do, kids are going to die. No matter what you do, old people are going to die because of COVID. No matter how much you lock down, the weak are going to get taken out, and that's called nature. And it sucks, and we lose great people. But unfortunately, it's survival of the fittest. And in this situation, of course, it's horrible. And I'm not saying that I'm condoning children being murdered. What I'm telling you is that it'll happen no matter what we do.
Even if we ban the guns.
You get rid of all guns. Then how are we going to respond? Do you know? Listen, I'm not saying glass. This is what pisses me off, okay? I'm going to be people who live in the tornado belt, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we are here and a massive F5 tornado just went through this trailer park. It is completely fucked. Everything is devastated. It was an F5 and we have one lady here she's crawling out of the rubble with her dog, Rover. Rope, come here. She comes up. Yeah, oh my God, can you believe that? It was crazy. It sounded like a train coming over. Yes, ma'am. How did you survive? Oh, the good Lord saved me. The good Lord came down and he just saved me. And he saved my little dog, Rover, too. Look at Rover. Look at how pretty she is. Well, what are you going to do? We're going to rebuild. Where are you going to rebuild? Right here. Same plot, same spot. Same spot. We're going to do it again. This has happened 17 times in a row, but it won't happen 18 because the good Lord's going to protect me. My one question as a reporter is, why did God put the tornado there to begin with? My whole point isn't to make fun of God. My whole point is, if there is a God, which I'm assuming there is, I hope there is, I don't know if he is responsible for every single little thing that happens, but maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But to sit here and say that he just literally killed all your neighbors and destroyed the entire RV park, and then he saved you, is a little naive. So I would like to change the topic away from praying and talk about reality. Bad things are going to happen to people for the rest of their lives. And although a gun was involved in the violence, a gun didn't stop the violence. The people who decided to use their firearms stopped the violence. And that's the truth. It wasn't an act of God. God had nothing to do with what just happened. The cabal had nothing to do with what happened. Transgenders didn't have anything to do with what happened. Women, men, Muslim, Christian, Catholic, Jews. This was a crazy fucking person who had some very serious psychosis issues, who got a hold of weapons. We don't know how. We don't know if they were legally bought. We don't know if they were taken from mom and dad's house, because you don't know anything. What we do know is that this person was psychotic and nuts, and nothing was going to stop it. No amount of praying, no amount of banning, no amount of anything was going to stop this from happening, because when somebody wants to do harm, they can think and do atrocious things no matter how you try to stop them, because that's why violence is violent. And that's the harsh truth. Go ahead.
Yeah. I got something to say. So even if they ban all guns here, the violence is still going to happen. I mean, look at France a few years ago when the guy took the box truck through the crowd on their Independence Day, and he killed like 90 people. And that's more than any mass shooting we've had in the United States, and injured hundreds more. I mean, it's going to happen. My mom was at Notre Dame when this crazy wacko started hitting people with a hammer. My mom was there.
Yeah.
And there's no guns in France, but yet people are still dying from mass murder. If it's not a gun, it's going to be a hammer. If it's not a hammer, it's going to be a car. If it's not a car, it's going to be a knife or a sword. The crazies will find a way to hurt the people.
That's right.
It's not the gun. And we had this discussion at dinner with the kids. We have several firearms in the home, and most of them have not even been used. I mean, we didn't buy them to go out and shoot people with them. We bought them to protect us.
Speak for yourself.
We bought them to protect our home, and it's going to happen, and people will find a way.
That's about sums it up. I'm just going to say, and I'm not disparaging God. What I'm saying to you is that if God is not responsible for all things bad that happen to us, he can't always be responsible for all the things that good happen to us too, because then I don't know if that's a God I want to follow. Amy, as our resident expert on God, who knows a hell of a lot more about it than I do, will you give me your perspective?
Yeah.
And
Yes. First, yes. I do not believe that God is responsible for I don't believe he's responsible for any of the evil acts in our world. I do believe in Satan, and I do believe he is walking amongst us every day. I have seen it with my own eyes. I do not believe that God is responsible for all the amazing things, for all the good Samaritans, for the people who do protect by their own free will other people. That's why God gave us free will. It's not up to God always to save us. It's up to ourselves. And that is why God gave us free will, because we can't depend on him for everything. Otherwise, we'd live in a freaking happy utopia.
And your naivety is not God's fault either. That's yours.
Correct.
And if you don't conceal carry and you don't learn how to use a firearm, that's on you. Sorry, go ahead.
Correct. I was just going to speak about KJP. I don't know if I feel like I have such a dislike towards her, and I've never met her, so it's really hard for me because my feelings towards her are absolutely like revolting. I totally don't like her. Anytime I have to watch her, I'm just disgusted by the things that she says. She's so lackadaisical. She is so non-committal. She can't freaking fucking read. Sorry. Phil,
It's okay.
I'm just,
Why are you sorry? You don't have to apologize to me.
I know she's a speaker of the house. I know she's, or not a speaker of the house, but she's the whatever, of course, whatever her fucking title is.
And White House correspondent in charge, the head bullshit slinger
Thank you.
in charge.
That's her official title. I know it's her job to be diplomatic in the way that she conveys information. However, she gets emotional about things that are not important. These are children who have just fucking been slain, and she can't get her fucking words together.
Oh
It's
God, wait till you hear
disgusting to
Biden.
me.
Wait till you hear Biden. You're going to throw up.
Oh, it's, I'm tired of
Amy,
it.
oh.
I'm absolutely tired of it. I'm so tired. Why are we not protecting our children? Why are we not arming every freaking classroom? Matt and I have talked about it. Leroy's talked about it. There are tons of people who will volunteer their time. We will volunteer.
I have
our
volunteered
time.
10 hours a week to,
Yes.
I will be down there. I can sit 100 yards away, 500 yards away. I can be 25 yards behind a reinforced glass sandbag, easily made, readable, put together in 5 minutes barricade. And you put me in that thing, nothing's getting through me. You give me some bulletproof glass, you give me a reinforced shell, and I'll sit there and I will take any threat out that you ask.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All the veterans that I know have offered, they won't take us up on it.
Yeah, most
because
parents,
it's not
any parent, even if a parent's not trained, they're willing to. I think any parent that I know, even parents that, and I know a couple. There's not a ton around here because most people carry here, and most of the teachers in my kids' school carry. But they're allowed to. It's private school. There's no rules there. They can carry if they want to openly. It's not. There's no issue with that. Which is why I like that school. I feel very safe knowing that my children's teachers will give their life for my child, and I appreciate that more than they'll ever know. And I hope that never happens. And I hope my kids are always safe. But there's so many parents out there who are afraid of guns, who are like, no, I will sign up. I will take a class. I will volunteer, whatever it is, to be outside of my kid's classroom, because if it comes to saving my child or my neighbor's child or my friend or just any child, we're all willing to do it. Oh God, this tears me up. It's horrible.
I'm going to say one last thing before I show the video. And once again, this is not a disrespect to religion.
Yeah. No.
You talk to any guy in a foxhole. You talk to any guy who's had the responsibility to the left or to the right of him, the person to their left or to their right. You don't want your mom. You don't want God. You don't want money. You don't want your wife.
Yep.
You want one of these. In that situation, no matter what the situation is, this is what you want.
Yep.
Every single person, every child, every kid, they even know. Every 9 and 8-year-old, I promise you, every one of them, no matter what their upbringing was, today, they all wanted their daddy or mommy's gun. The teacher, the staff, the janitor, the 61-year-olds, the substitute teacher, they wanted guns. Even if they were the most pacifists, non-aggressive, anti-gun people in the world, every single one of them wanted one of these. So why would you wait until your most desperate hour to put yourself in a situation where you can walk away? At Comcast, immediate terminable offense to carry one of these. My HR director came up to me and she goes, this is when we had a shooting at the building. And they came in and they shot at the windows. And she came to my office because she knew I was the one vet who could take care of myself. She knocked on my door and she sat down. Her name was Marta. I'm not going to tell you her last name. She looked across from me and she goes, hi. I said, hi. She goes, did you hear what happened on the street today? And I said, yeah. He said, they shot at a window and we're in a tough area. And I said, I understand. This is a big glass building, 20 stories, whatever. And she goes, I am going to tell you something that could get both of us fired. And I'm going to tell you to do something that I will never admit, but I promise you, if you're caught, you will never be termed for this because I'm the one that would fire you for this. And I said, okay. She goes, if a situation came that there was somebody here that came to hurt the 700 employees in this building, would you be able to stop them? And I said, do they have a gun? She goes, yes. And I said, no. Unless they were reloading, unless I caught them around a corner or surprised them. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get the intelligence that I need and recon the situation without a weapon, because I can't go around corners effectively and spot and look and withdraw without a gun, because I'm ultimately going to get pinned down and I can't return fire. And she goes, what would help your situation to make sure that you could do all of those things if somebody came in? And I said, me having a gun. And she goes, thanks, and gets up and walks out. And I carried every fucking day. And she would come in once in a while and ask me how I am and give me updates on employees that were disgruntled and upset and make me aware. And it was our little secret. And I will tell you, that woman slept safer at night knowing that I was there with one of these. Every single teacher, every single student, every single worker should feel the same level of comfort and security. And if they don't, that's when you strike. That's when you don't go to work. You don't fucking do it over $15 an hour. You do it when your safety is in jeopardy. And that's what we did at Comcast when all my kids who worked for me were getting rolled for their phones and beat up in strong arm robberies. And I said, fucking enough. And I fought corporate. I fought Philadelphia, and I went against Comcast, and they put cages and bollards. They put bulletproof reinforced glass in every single store, and I raised fucking hell. And it probably cost me my job when we released mobile, because we had 300 stores a year that were getting strong arm robbed, until I said, this is how you defend it. This is how Apple defend it. And this is why you assholes brought me here and recruited me, and you're fucking up. And one of our kids are going to get killed. Like 5 of my employees in Hollywood Video in Albuquerque, New Mexico, were all slain in the back room and shot and put to death. We have a responsibility to fight guns with guns. And if you're telling me it doesn't work, then explain to me how they stopped the shooter today. Who did it? It was the police with weapons. Well, why don't we make that 14 minutes a little bit faster? How about 14 seconds? And if cops can stop them, and that's what we're calling, put the goddamn guns in the classroom and solve this shit. You get 20 teachers armed to the teeth, and you teach them defense and firearms training, and they're like, we don't get paid for that. You're right, you don't, but you also don't get paid to get murdered and riddled with bullets either. So we might as well arm the teachers and teach them. And they're like, well, some innocent people are going to get hurt. As opposed to what? All the innocent people get hurt?
Right, our children.
This is leftist logic. They don't make any fucking sense. And that's why the left are idiots, because they don't make any sense. Men are women, women are men. No, they're not. This doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? Oh, we've got a vaccine. Wear 7 masks, 10 masks. Go ahead and walk in and make sure you have your mask on. But when you sit down, all of a sudden you're okay. Nothing they say makes sense. It's all stupid fantasy wizards and dragons and bunny rabbits and fucking rainbow spotted unicorns. And none of it's logical. This used to be the party of education. What happened? Arm yourselves. It's simple.
And if the teachers don't want to arm themselves, well, most 8 and 9-year-olds are still in elementary school, and they can respond. Not all of them. I'm not saying all of them. There are enough of them who can responsibly arm themselves with a weapon. I've seen it. I know Matt would agree with me here. There's tons of classes for kids here. I'm sure they're across the nation of how to teach a child how to responsibly handle a firearm. And
do you want to know what? I was working out and I was helping Hayden today with her play, her
lines.
Her lines. And I was lifting and, trying to answer her shit. And you know what? I said to her, I said, God, I wish I could give you a gun. And she goes, Dad, you can't give me a gun. I said, I know, honey, but I wish I could. She goes, I wish you could too. You want to know what I would do? The moment I heard a bullet, I would pull out my backpack and I would hold this up and go, Mr. Lawson, here you go. My dad wants you to have this to protect us. She goes, I wouldn't use it because I wouldn't be able to do it effectively. Now, if worse came to worse, I would. And I could use it, Dad, and I'd probably kill him. But I would give it to my teacher. And you know what that teacher would probably say? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hayden. Thank you. Kids, get behind me. And I'm going down fighting. And if I drop, one of you pick this up and you fight. I mean, for God's sakes, don't teach them how to hide. Don't teach them how to. The reason why the Las Vegas shooter was so successful, anybody from an elevated position, anyone in military would know this. Anybody who has spent any time in combat, when they ran away, they increased his trajectory and his line of sight. If they would have ran towards the building based upon his height, it would have lessened his angle and he would have had to shoot straight down, which is impossible with the weapon he was using from the angle he was doing. They should have ran towards the shooting and they would have been safe. But by running away, you gave him a better line of sight and he could draw his target and lead his targets. But you don't train people how to do that. You have to start educating the public on how to be smarter than the shooter. We're not going to catch all these fucking guys. And even if we do ban all guns, it's not going to stop them. You have to have situational awareness. You have to take responsibility. There's classes. You wouldn't go into the ocean and scuba dive without training. You wouldn't jump out of a plane without training. You wouldn't drive a car without training. Hell, you wouldn't even have sex without training. We all watched a movie or something and put on some porn and we're like, oh, that's how it's done. You train to get better. Why do we not train on situational awareness, close quarter combat? These are the things you need to do. And you're like, well, I'm not a military veteran. You don't have to be.
Right.
But be aware. Don't be a sitting duck.
I'm not a military veteran, but I took the gun safety course and I can go get my concealed carry permit. I just have to get off my lazy ass and go to the courthouse and get the application. Yeah, but I did it and I'm not a veteran.
I don't want to arm kids either.
No, no one does. I'm saying
but if you have a child who is a full-time shooter, who shoots on the weekends, who is a hunter, if I'm a principal, I would find the 5 kids who are that way. At this point, I would do anything. If I'm a principal of a school, I would do anything I could to make sure the kids are armed. Hi, sweet pea.
Yeah.
Hello.
People got mad because I gave Ethan a kiss on the cheek, and he's like, you kiss little boys. You got to come down here and show him your smile.
Not even gonna say anything.
She's not going to say anything. Aww. You know what? I don't kiss my kids on the lips. I kiss them on their hair or on their cheek. Hayden, come here.
Now you're gonna make me say something.
Say something.
Hi.
Go right here.
Hi.
Say something.
Say what?
I don't know. Do you think that that's stupid? Have I ever kissed you on your lips in your life?
Yes.
When?
You're my dad like 1,000 times.
What?
On your lips?
Yeah.
I have never kissed you on your lips. What the fuck are you talking about?
Like when I was a child, like a tiny.
Oh gosh.
Go away.
I was gonna say, I don't know. When does it become inappropriate? At what age? I don't know. Like I kiss my daughter and son on the lips.
I don't kiss you on the lips. You're 13 years old. Like when you were like, when you were like 2 years old. Like, that's different. Go away. You just made me look like a pedo in front of everybody. Jeez. You're an
Ask
idiot.
qualifying questions, dear.
Is it not a normal thing?
Hayden, when I kiss you goodnight, is it on the lips or on the cheek or on the side of the head?
Like not on the lips.
Get out of here. Leave me alone.
No, but that's like a good question because I totally not often.
I kissed my mom and my dad on the lips until I was like 12 or 13 goodnight, and I go a little kiss and goodnight. But
yeah.
I don't know what is she talking about? I've never.
When she was little, itty bitty.
Of course, she's a little baby. Of course, you kiss her in the cheeks and go.
My daughter will block you, and she will force you to kiss her on the lips. I'm like, it's uncomfortable.
Because you have.
She said she came back
We
in.
taught
She's
her
like,
not to lie. She's being.
but you don't remember. Okay. Honestly, is there any time that you go to your mom's mind? Is there any time that you can remember me kissing you on the lips that you remember and not assume when you were a child? Please let me know.
No, not really.
Not okay. It's either a no or not. What does not really mean?
No.
Then what are you talking about? Your mom kisses you on the lips, yeah?
No.
See? Then why are you saying that I do?
No.
Get out of the room. Just leave.
Wait, you have to do your Mr. Wormwood impression.
Oh, my Mr. Woodward impression? Oh, here, let me see it. Here, let's do a line. Let's do a line together. Come on.
Okay.
All right. I'll try not to kiss you on the lips while you're
wait,
sitting
no,
next to me.
the first scene.
You're so full of crap. What the? Talk about awkward. Okay. All the time, like 1,000 times, really.
No, like when I was a kid. Like
You don't even remember. Where's the first one? Oh, where it says scene one.
Where it says scene one.
Dabba, 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 da. This one?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. You got to come down here. All right.
Happened to Amy? There she is. Okay.
Here, come in here.
Totally not embarrassing at all.
Come down. Here, drop.
I'm very loud. They're gonna hear me.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
So I'm going to be Mr. Wormwood.
Yeah.
And you're going to be Mrs. Wormwood. Who's going to be Matilda? Me?
Mom.
I need the line.
Mom can't remember. Here, I'll be Matilda too. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Wormwood. Hang on.
What?
Hang on.
You missed the line.
Oh shit. That's not fair. Okay. Yes, sir. That's right, sir. 155 brand new luxury cars, sir.
Harry!
Hang on.
Look at this. She's reading a book. That's not normal for a 5-year-old. I think she might be an idiot.
Listen to this. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Stop scaring your mother with that book, boy.
I'm not a boy. I'm a girl.
I'm a girl.
And she keeps trying to tell me all these stories, Harry. It's not normal for a girl to be all thinking.
I'm going to call you straight back. Click. I'm trying to pull off the biggest business deal of my life, and I have to listen to this.
What about me? I've got a whole house to look after. Dinners don't microwave themselves, you know. Well, I'm off to bleach my roots, and I shan't be talking to you for the rest of the evening.
But I'm going to make us rich.
How rich?
Very rich. Russian businessmen. Very, very stupid. Your genius husband is going to tell some of them 100 and... He's going to sell them 100 and... I can't say it, but I'm going to sell it. He's going to sell them 155 old bangers. Brand new luxury cars, love. But that's not fair. The cars will break down. What about the Russians? Fair? Listen to the boy. I'm a girl.
Well,
Fair does not get you anywhere, you thick-headed twit brain. All I can say is thank heavens Michael has inherited his old man's brains. Hey, son. Michael?
well, I shall take the money when you earn it, and I shall spend it, but I shan't enjoy it because of the despicable way you've spoken to me tonight.
This is your fault with your stupid books, your stupid reading. But that's not right. You're off to school in a few days, and I know your head mistress, Agatha Trunchbull. I've told her all about you. Scary woman she is, used to compete in the Olympics, throwing the hammer. Imagine what she's going to do, a horrible little goblin like you, boy. I'm a girl. Now get off to bed, you little bookworm. And scene. And scene. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd give you a kiss, but I wouldn't want to go ahead and get out of my face.
Are you going to see the details in this live everything in your kids?
Thousands of times.
Oh my god.
Okay, leave.
Love you.
Good night. Oh, Hayden. Here.
Dude, you woke your brother up.
You woke your brother up. Shush. Get out of here. Leave now.
Sorry, that was Miss Wormwood.
All right.
Send me text me the
Yeah, you got to show up. She's so good. She sings in it. She's got a big part in it. She could possibly do like 6 parts or some shit.
She's an understudy, and there's some serious middle school drama going on where somebody might be booted from the play, and if that happens, I don't know. So she's trying to memorize like 6 different parts right now.
Yeah, listen. I listen. As I want to make something clear. So everyone's like, well, why is Matt freaked out that I kissed my kid on the lips? Because I was molested when I was a young boy by a Catholic priest and somebody else in the family. So I'm very, very careful with that. So I have never, I'm just letting you know, it weirds me out. I would not kiss my kids on the lips. I kiss them on the cheek, kiss them on the forehead. And usually with with Hayden, she's full of hair. But they were babies. Of course you kiss them. Give them kisses on their belly. Give them kisses on their hand. Kiss your boo-boo. Kiss your elbow. Or kiss them on... But no, not when they're... No, it's weird. I don't know. For me, it's weird. Now, my parents, I always kissed my mom on the lips, my dad on the lips until I was like probably 12 or 13. And it was no big deal. But to me, I don't know. It just doesn't seem natural. So I hardly even kiss my wife. Whatever. Not there. So
on your head.
Well, somewhere. So anyway, all right. Last video, Joe Biden, Ice Cream Joe, and then we're gonna pop smoke here because we want to
from the White House.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip.
What? Okay, now I want to set the stage for this. This is right after the school shooting. He was supposed to come out and talk about the shooting. And he's talking about being the husband of Dr. Jill Biden, and then ice cream. He's supposed to be comforting the families and the nation over this. And he's out here cracking stupid ass jokes. Watch the rest.
I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. God. Ben, how are you, pal? One of the best guys in the United States Congress, Ben Cardin. Folks, it's a delight to have you all here. And who are those good-looking kids back there?
I want to sniff them.
I haven't seen this. This is mortifying.
I want to sniff them. My God.
Hi.
Hold on.
Are your kids all four of them?
Hey, who's on the line?
Rhiannon.
Oh, Rhiannon. Hold on a second. Let me get you in here. Everyone hear Rhiannon?
Yes.
Yes.
Rhiannon, it's your minute. Let's watch the rest. Listen to the rest of Joe Biden real quick. Hold on.
Well, stand up, guys.
Stand up so I can get a good look at you.
John, we'll jump back in here. Considering the moment,
we were told that the
shooting that just happened left 3 children dead, 3 adults dead, shooters dead, and we were told he would be addressing this off the top.
Yeah, it's rather surprising. I thought that a somber President Biden would have come to the podium here and addressed the school shooting in the White House.
All right, Rhiannon, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think I'm kind of behind, or I'm watching something different.
Oh, yeah, you got to turn off Facebook and you could listen through your phone. But essentially, Joe Biden, first off, came out and started talking about chocolate chip ice cream and how he's got some upstairs. Then he went ahead and recognized that he talked about his wife, Jill Biden, and said, I'm Jill Biden's husband. And then, which is, kind of, playing fast and loose with the presidency of the United States. And then he's like, looks at some kids and goes, hey, good looking kids. Why don't you guys stand up? I mean, it was like the Joe Biden trifecta of all the memes he's ever had made about him in one press conference. And this guy, he's a clown. And I just don't understand. Do you have an opinion on it, or did you call about something else?
Well, I see Joe Biden, but I think, I was on Facebook, but then I started watching you on YouTube, and I guess I've seen a video where you were talking to your daughter, or, talking about kissing your kids on the lips.
Yeah. I don't.
Okay.
I just got accused of doing it 1,000 times, but anyway, but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. It's interesting.
Well, I'm actually a victim of child molestation, and, I can kind of empathize on that. Mm-hmm. But I don't think you're a pedophile just because you kiss your kids on the lips.
No, I don't. But please, thank you so much. And first of all, I'm sorry you went through that, and that's the worst. And it certainly was not good for me and my psyche. And I appreciate you sharing it. I don't. It's not about me. It's about them. And I just respect their privacy and affection. I hug my kids every night. I give them a kiss on the cheek every single night. Tell them I love them. Or I go up and see him or whatever, but it makes me feel awkward. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My husband's the same way. So,
Well, and it comes down to this. I don't ever want my kids to say, oh, dad's not affectionate. I don't know. I believe kissing somebody on the lips is an intimate thing. Because you certainly want to go up and kiss a guy on the lips. And the reason why is because they're your friend, and your kids, although you love them, you don't love them in that way. So I don't know. Maybe this is just stupid. I don't know. Amy, tell me I'm dumb.
Yeah, can I just want to interject really quickly because my son is 9, my daughter is 6. My daughter has no physical boundaries. Like, she doesn't know that there's personal space. She just doesn't get that yet. She's highly inappropriate, but she's 6. She doesn't know any better. So we don't tell her like, hey, unless it's really inappropriate, like that's not cool. You're too old to be doing that. Like, we'll set that straight, but she doesn't know yet. My 9-year-old, I will say this now I'm thinking about it. I don't really love to kiss him on the lips, but he will do that to me sometimes. And I don't ever tell him like it's wrong or no. I'm like, okay, yeah. It's not like this lingering kiss. He's my son. So it's just a quick love ya. That's it.
Right.
Because he's also getting to the age where he's embarrassed of me at school. So sometimes I don't even get a bye mom. Sometimes I just get a slam door. Yeah. So like I'm taking all the affection I can get from him at this point. And if it's a handhold or just a squeeze or a hug or a kiss on the lips, like I'll take whatever I get. So I don't know. I guess it's
Olivia. Your thoughts? Help me out here, because you're mom. You know better than anybody.
I don't know. I guess when it's family, it's totally different, because Ethan kissed me on the lips the other day just to say I love you, and it doesn't bother me. When your sister and I were real close, she would give me a quick kiss, hello. I know that's weird, but I've seen it with my cousins, and they would kiss the brother-in-law and stuff. It's affection, and I guess it's when if it's not with tongue and it's just a quick kiss, hello.
Holy
I guess
shit.
it would be okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
But you're women, and it's different with women.
I'm 41 years old.
Yeah.
I hope both my parents. I never, my dad dips, so that's just kind of gross. I wouldn't kiss my dad on the lips anyway because he dips. It's gross.
Yeah, I don't know. I it's a really good point. I think it's my own insecurity. I mean, and you know me, I always like to analytically look at everything, and I think it has to do with my own inequities and my own insecurities, and probably goes down to I have some sort of some implant when it comes to implanted recessive thought in regards to I never want to be the people who did that to me, so therefore I don't ever want to put my kids in that position. I think that's fair. I'm sure if we laid me on the couch, we could root it back to that.
You got to do what you're comfortable with. I mean, I just was thinking about it, and when I was Hayden's age and even older, my relatives, I remember giving my uncle and my aunt a quick kiss, hello. Yeah. And I mean, that was just normal. And I mean, I was older than Hayden. So, I mean, I think it's if it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea, and you shouldn't be ashamed of it. And if it is your cup of tea, you shouldn't be ashamed of it, because it's not a sexual thing.
You and I should practice later on each other and see what we come up with.
I'm cool with that.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna do that, folks. Last thing, Rhiannon, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it, and thank you so much. Is this Rhiannon that I accidentally called the other day?
Yes, and you know what? I still say it's an honor. I was never
whatever, please. I'm such a loser. You have you're more than welcome to call in anytime, and I am totally not worth that. But thank you so much for saying that. It makes me feel important, and that's important. So thank you.
It is very important.
Yes, ma'am.
So whoever the guy was that called you the pedo for kissing your kid.
Oh, I don't think he called me that. He just like, oh, you're whatever. You kiss boys, and I'm like, see, and that's what guys are, some guys don't show affection to their children, and then their kids are going to go shoot up a school. So at least my kids know they're loved. So yeah. But anyway, so it is what it is. I want to Rhiannon, we'll do this with you on the phone. This guy is Brian Krassenstein, and he's got a brother as well, and they are on Twitter. These guys have had to give the United States government back almost $500,000. They are grifters. They've run Ponzi schemes. They've been banned from Twitter. Their whole entire goal is to essentially just spread lies in regards to the left and take any platform for any Republican away from them, especially Donald Trump. And now they're going after Elon Musk. This is the guy on tape admitting that he's a paid shill for the left. And I want you to watch it.
I will definitely watch it.
Thanks.
I have several businesses, but the resistance is a really good group of people. It's spread throughout the country, probably throughout the world. I mean, it's just kind of it's just what I enjoy spending my time doing, and of course we get paid. You know, of course those higher ups pay us.
So you're paid for this? It's not just like something you do because for your love of country.
Yeah, I mean people pay us. They want us to help sow the division and to take over Trump's Twitter feed. When he makes a post, they want our tweets to be up there. They don't want other people to, like, Trump supporters to be seen in that.
Is that
this guy essentially just peddles bullshit, and that's all he does. There's nothing factual. There's nothing real. And the problem with him is that he pretends that he has the moral high ground when there is no high ground. He lumps all conservatives together, and he's a coward. He won't engage with people who want to have a serious conversation. I've tried, and maybe I'm just too low rent for him, or his Twitter feed's too busy, but I guarantee he's seen my stuff. I would love for them to come on my show, both of them. And it could be both of them against me. I would love to debate these clowns. These guys are opportunists. They ultimately respond and stay on, and they hire people to watch Donald Trump's feed and refresh. As soon as he used to make a post, they would respond. And they have become extremely successful at being paid Democrat moderators of disinformation. And I'm going to show you.
Who is this?
These are the Krassenstein brothers, and they're on Twitter. Now, I'm going to show you one last thing. And this is a photograph of, just so you're aware, of all of them. And it can give you all the @feeds, so you're aware. These are paid social media hashtags for all the people who are being paid by the Democratic Party to spread disinformation on Twitter, and it's open. One of them, JoJo from Jers, I've had posts about her. She blocked me. Most of them have blocked me now, but these are them. Occupy Democrats. Some of these names might be familiar to you, and the Krassenstein brothers, they all do it. And I'm not saying that the right doesn't have paid shills as well, but understand that these are the people who I'm going up against. And they have an ungodly amount of money and budget for advertising dollars to hire people to interact for their pages. And this is the problem. So please understand is that if there are groups of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of these clowns shilling for the left, the same is for the right. And this is where disinformation comes through. So please understand, don't be as naive as others where you just believe everything from the right, everything from the left. And the last thing I will say is I'm not paid by anybody. I've never received a dime from any sponsor, any paid advertiser. Everything I make is through Facebook, people who watch my videos and you watch ads. That's how I make money. Or people overseas using my content. I get royalty rights, and I make a pretty good living off that, to be honest. But I can't even pay Amy and Leroy right now because we're not a full profit company right now. We are literally doing this on our own. So you should try to seek out people who give honest feedback. Maybe not always right, maybe not always perfect, maybe not always the fastest, but these are the sites that you need to support because they're the ones who are not shilling for one side. We call it like we see it, and we give the most honest account that we can. Amy, you've got 1 minute. Please take your time, and then I know you got to get out of here because Jason wants you to get the hell off.
I don't. Well,
I'm pretty good at noticing things like this.
Sorry. My 1 minute. First of all, Matt does not pay me. So if you would like to reach out and give me money.
I was thinking of getting a donation, like go GoFundMe for like the Feed Amy and Leroy page. So I need it too, folks. I don't have a job. This is all I got. So,
yes, please support our page. Share, subscribe, share it with your friend group. Share it with people you hate because they will love us too. You know, they love to hate us. So we'll take any fans. We don't care if they love us or hate us. We welcome everybody. So yes, please feel free to send me money anytime. I'm open to that. And no, it was a great show tonight. I missed you guys. I missed you guys on Friday. Sorry I wasn't here. Yeah. And to these people who are murdering our children, I pray to God they're all rotting in hell. That's all I can say.
It's fair enough. I don't think I have anything else. I think I've got it all. I think we talked about a bunch. Go to thedumbshow.com if you would not mind. Get yourself a nice shirt, a hat, some coffee. Looks like we sold a couple of the Awake shirts tonight. This is for you. This isn't just for selling stuff. You can listen to the podcast. You can watch the podcast here. There's cool links. Stop by. It's a really well-built site. I should know. I built the damn thing from top to bottom. People are asking, when are we on? Monday, Wednesday, Friday live, and then I do a recorded show. I try to do it at least 3 to 4 times a week. Tonight I didn't get one in. I'll make sure I have one tomorrow for you. But Isaac, I apologize for you, and I am sorry that I did not get you taken care of. But God bless everybody. Thanks for listening. Olivia, you got anything for us? Anything you want to say goodnight tonight?
Thanks for watching, listening. Good night, y'all.
It's pretty
Gotta
simple.
get the y'all in there.
Pretty simple, folks.
Yes, and I would not mind. You can donate money to us as well.
Sure, we can always take money, folks. We'll be on tomorrow. I will have a recorded show for you. I might be live. It depends what happens with Trump and this supposed indictment. I want to thank how many people were on. It was incredible to see 160 some odd on. We had 150 on till the very end. Show's starting to get there, which was good because that's good. That's great news. So God bless. We will see you next time on the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Amy, we love you, appreciate you, and thank you. And we are Audi 5000 G's. Bye.
Have a good night, y'all.
I'm David Boreanaz with the Cast the Seal team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
Thanks, James.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help, and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important. For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call.
See, it did it again. Why does it always do this? What? It always records again and skips over my closing.